cash on the line every minute you're out there. It's the most fun I have in curling, and I look forward to it. We've been involved quite a few years in a row now in skins curling, and I totally look forward to it.
Well, I thought I liked it, but we haven't had any success over the last few years. So, you know, I guess some teams obviously do better at it than others, and you know, we just keep battling away, and hopefully one of these days we'll make enough shots to actually win a skins game.
I'll tell you right now, Vic Peters will like it a lot more if he comes up with a win over Kevin Martin.
Well, he's got to come up with a big game here today because Martin really knows how to play the skins, has a lot of confidence at it, so it's going to be Peters' job to really dislodge him, to really get something going here that Martin can't handle.
What's the strategy then, Ed?
Well, every game is a kind of a mini game inside of itself every end day, so I think, you know, particularly for Peters here, if he has a bad end, he's just got to put it out of his mind and come battling it through the next end.
How do you win a skin? This is the way you do it. You try to take two with the hammer, steal one or more, and the hammer changes on carryovers, and if the carryovers start to build up, then you're looking at a fair bit of cash. And we're looking at a terrific Western quarterfinal. The defending champion Kevin Martin against Vic Peters. It's up next on Sportsnet.
New Tim Hortons coffee cake. Enjoy a slice and medium coffee for just $2.29.
Traveling by train is the truly civilized way to do business. Fine-tune an important presentation. Stay in touch with the office. Or relax and restore your soul. For those who value their time, there's only one way to arrive, ready for business.
Tires, available at GM Goodwrench dealers across Canada.
M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
CTV Sportsnet is proud to present the 2000 GM Goodwrench Skins. Brought to you by GM Goodwrench Service. We love cars. Swiffer. When Swiffer's the one, consider it done. And by Tim Hortons, the coffee you can count on.
Well, the crowd is ready. They are pumped to see the Western quarterfinals here at the Scarboro Golf and Country Club's the 2000 GM Goodwrench Skins. And how does the ice look, Ed Lukowicz?
Well, this ice is absolutely perfect for a skins game type of format as provided by ice technician Brian Campbell. There's plenty of curl, and you need that. Vitally important to have the movement towards the middle, about 3.5 to 4 feet of curl around a center guard. Big move to the side as well, though. We'll get up to as much as 4 feet of curl when coming around a corner guard. Caution required, though. If you just overthrow a little bit, it's very, very weight sensitive. A little more weight, and then it won't move, and then finally curls right by whatever you're shooting at. Could go a little bit heavy without enough move. Very quick, though. Ice time hog to hog, 14 seconds. Hog to tee, 23 seconds.
Well, a little cash on the line. It looks like this: $250 for the first and second ends, then up to $300. The fifth is worth $4. Into the sixth and seventh for $500, and that's when you said, Ed, it gets interesting. $700, $800, then $1,000, a total of $5,000. You've got to have over that magic $2,500 mark to earn a berth in the semifinal. And Kevin Martin and Vic Peters are ready. Kevin Martin throwing the Yellowstones. Vic Peters has the Red Rocks. The hammer for this Western quarterfinal belongs to Kevin Martin.
Yep.
Don Harvey starts things off.
Yep.
He is the lead. The 35-year-old is a chartered accountant as they curl out of the Granite Club.
Hard. Okay. Oh boy.
This team's now been together for a couple of years after adding Dave Smith last season. And they are involved in the provincial playdowns next week, as are both the teams in the other Western quarterfinal, Kerry Burtnick and Jeff Stoughton. Don Bartlett, 39 years of age. He's a postal clerk. He is from the Rock. He's from Newfoundland. We'll talk more about that.
Sure. Should be lots, eh?
Well, both of these teams going for their
Lots of weight. Okay.
strategy right away on the offensive side. Peters playing a very tight guard, making use of that free guard zone and the 3-rock rule. Martin as well asking for a guard, this one halfway between the hog and the rings. Peters now asking for the tap on that red one.
And Don Harvey, there's run down on him.
Yep.
Curls out of Granite.
How's the weight? Weight's good. Room. Yep. What? Hard. Well, not hooking. Well, yep.
Somewhat different sweeping styles there. Denny, very short stroke in front of the rock, and Dave quite a wide stroke.
Back 8.
Don Bartlett wanted us to say hello to Gary and Vicki Anstey of St. John's. Gary recovering from a recent hospitalization. He wishes him well and wanted to send his best wishes out to you. Gary and Vicki Anstey.
Hard. Line only. Lots of weight. Whoa. Whoa. Close. Whoa.
You were kidding him too, saying, "What? You got family everywhere, don't you?"
Roll it. Your weight on. Okay. Shot, Don.
And we will be keeping tabs on the other Western quarterfinal, where the defending Canadian champion, Jeff Stoughton, battles Kerry Burtnick, an all-Manitoba battle. And this could maybe be even a precursor to what they might see in Manitoba as they get ready for the provincials there. There's Stoughton and Burtnick.
What a tremendous rivalry that is over the years. Ever since Burtnick won the Brier and the Worlds in '95, and then Stoughton did it, came back and did it in '96. There's always been a bragging rights between those two every time they play.
And a bit of a battle going on, too. Jeff Stoughton was quoted in the paper in Manitoba saying, really, you know, the top 5 seeds in Manitoba really had the best chance at winning the provincial crown. Well, that would mean people like Peters and Burtnick and Stoughton. Well, it's started a bit of a furor because the other teams in the field are saying, what, does that mean we don't show up?
Well, in Manitoba, it's a 32-team provincial playdown, and when you look at the 3 big teams there, Peters, Burtnick, and Stoughton, well, you kind of think always of one of them. But you know, there are 32 teams in that field, and anybody can get hot on any given day and win it. But in Manitoba this year, it's sort of like who's not in the final 32 rather than who is. Some good teams didn't make it, like Chad McMullen, who had a good year on the tour, Arnold Asham, John Bubbs, Mark Olson not in, as well as Kelly Skinner from Brandon. So really 5 main teams not in there.
This is Denny Neufeld. First name Chris, Denny a nickname. 42-year-old is a bakery owner.
Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Real hard, guys. Real hard.
Got that one in a little tight, and they're sweeping hard to try and get it by. Just.
Manitoba provincials will be held in Brandon. Kevin Martin is also part of a little provincial get-together. That's in Medicine Hat beginning Wednesday. Now, last year, he used the skins really as kind of his crowning moment because he did not make it.
Didn't make it to the provincials the last 2 years. So I think he's really pleased to be back there. Carter Rycroft.
Pleased to have him on his side. This Carter Rycroft is one of the up-and-comers in the curling world. He's added a whole new dimension to the Martin team. 22-year-old's a student. Born in Grand Prairie.
It's been a gambling game so far. Everything going Vic Peters' way so far. Well, that's the crazy thing about a game like skins. One shot can change it around in a hurry.
I like that. Double. Top 8.
Dave Smith is a former skip who joined up with Vic Peters last year. He's curled for 26 years.
He brings a strong dimension to this team. Experience-wise, he played in the 94 Brier in Red Deer, but he can really throw the big weight with accuracy. And that's a good addition to have in the Skins. Not only is he a good draw player, but he can throw that big weight and take out 2 or 3 with one stone.
Pat back, Stone.
Hack weight. Near the nose.
Donnie Walchuk gets into the hack. 36-year-old is an investment advisor. And you want a little smoke, this man can throw it.
Yeah, he can really throw the big heat. Tremendous
Hey, Don,
Brier experience. Played
pretty
a number
tight
of
hold,
years
but if
with
you
Pat
make it,
Ryan.
Good shot. Let's go here.
And they won the Briers in
Not
88
bad.
and 89, as he was second for Pat Ryan.
Yeah, well, line's good. Heavy. Hurt. Oh. Heavy.
Wants to come through this hole on the out turn.
Hurt. Hurt. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
And into the rings it goes. Martin with the yellow stones and the red stones, Stu Peters. The rules, the 3-rock rule is in effect in the free guard zone. Each team is allowed 70 minutes to play. 3 one-minute timeouts for each squad. 10 ends and a draw to the button on any carryover after 10 ends, as we saw in the Eastern quarterfinal earlier today between Mike Harris and Guy Hemmings.
How's weight?
And really the biggest difference is that you happen to blanket it
there.
Hard. You lose the hammer, different than regular curling.
Just over. Well, tight line.
That one went early over curling.
Yeah, get out of the way. Hard.
Not nearly doing what they were playing. They wanted to come into the rings, top ring.
What do you think? Bump it out?
Who's got second?
They've got first and second. Okay. Bump it back a little bit.
Top it out.
Don Walchuk skipped his own team in the provincials in 1994, but later on came along and got on a second man for this Kevin Martin team, and Randy Furby was the third. But halfway through that year in,
like a lot of weight.
in 97, Furby left the team and Walchuk took over as third. And they went right to winning that Brier in Calgary in 97.
Getting ready for skip stones.
Yeah,
$250 the first end.
Pretty close there for second shot between yellow and red, but Martin said it's the red.
Interested spectator is Guy Hemmings. He got a big hand as he walked through to find a spot in the crowd. Thumbs up, he says, yeah.
Well, I think that's absolutely fabulous for him to come out and watch this game. He really lost a tough quarterfinal when he, against Harris. Hemmings had to draw more than full 4 to win it. He didn't quite do it. That was in the shootout.
You question, of course, whether or not he should have gone with the out turn, maybe stuck with an in turn the way Harris did.
And maybe he does too now, now that he didn't draw in there.
Well, through the line and drives the yellow out. Red still 1-2.
Yeah.
Kevin Martin, if he absolutely had to, could play the double, that situation there, but pretty risky. If he misses it, leaves that rock totally could be covered up in the 4-foot and would really set up the field for Peter, so decided to draw in here instead. Would either like the freeze or be about a foot short of it, just top button.
Lots of room.
That's good. Hard. Quote. Stay close. Quote.
Okay, line's good. Hard.
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 Hard. No
Martin
room.
following it all the way up the ice.
Line's perfect.
Gotta bite the button. Come on.
Hard! Hard!
Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
He is shot stone. Over-curled a bit for him. Vic Peters saying, I'll just come through that same hole and freeze right on it.
And look who's scouting here is Wayne Middaugh, who's a big winner over Ed Wernick. $4,500 he won in the quarterfinal.
Can't bounce off. Like, even if we sit on the top of the button, we might not be shot, but they're shot. We can't bounce off, though. He's going to need to double for 2, right? Even top 8's not bad.
Vic talking there about the things that he doesn't want to have happen. He doesn't want to
for weight,
bump off,
lots
doesn't
of
want to be a
room.
little light.
Whoa, Danny.
Lots of room.
Lot of room.
Perfect spot for this stone would be just biting about half of the button, but buried.
No.
No. No.
Man,
No.
this one's got a
No.
pile of curl to do.
No. No.
No.
No.
Yep. Yep.
Hard.
Hurry, 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 hurry. All right. They also got a nose hit there. But I might end up giving him one. No, I know. Yeah. This one we can be a little thin and just go right onto this, right?
Okay. So you're just going to play like taffy weight? Hack?
Yeah, hack kind of hit and roll.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay.
Play the hit and roll, though.
Martin could play this double right in the center area on the 2 reds.
That nose hit, I don't know, it
A
might
little
crack
risky,
on me a
though,
little down
chance
there.
of hitting it onto his own yellow. What he need to do is play some
Just hack
down
weight,
weight.
forward
Could
weight.
play it with the outturn, but it's chosen the in and just hack weight, roll right in there for shot rock. Maybe if he over-curls a little bit, he gets this here and still stays in there for 2. Tough way to play this shot, though, when you're coming across the face of the stone.
Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Looks awfully good.
Oh, look at this roll.
Does he stay for 2?
He does. Looks like,
That's
whoa,
good.
it's very tight for second.
Yes, it's for 2. And the first skin.
That's the way to do it. It's the start. That's all you need. 2 in, you pick up $250. Nice dive for Kevin Martin in the quarterfinals of the GM Goodwrench Skin.
Yes. 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 Yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Hurry. Hurry. Come on. Hurry. Whoa. Whoa. Clean. Clean. Hard. Hard. Real hard. Yes.
That old mop's a flop. The vacuum's missing spots. That old broom's stirring up.
The new Swiffer. It's so simple to assemble and cleans in new ways nothing has before.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer claws use electrostatic action to attract and trap dust, hair, and common allergens. When you're done, toss the cloth.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done in the household cleaners aisle.
Is it the adventure, the excitement of train travel that makes many of us become children again? Is it that within us lives a purpose to one day soon rediscover this great country? Are you ready?
M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
Hurry.
Uniroyal tires, available at GM Goodwrench dealers across Canada.
Said we would keep you updated on tonight's other Western quarterfinal, the final rock for Jeff Stoughton in the first end, needing 2 attempts to pick up the skin.
Well, he's got second and third shot in there, so all he had to do is pick out the yellow, got his 2 with the hammer, first skin of that game.
That's what you call just doing a little yellow housekeeping. Cleared those out of the way, and $250 goes into the pocket of Jeff Stoughton. $250 for Kevin Martin. Second end also worth $250.
Where's it? Deep?
Lots. Back 4.
Low then. Low, let her bump.
Want to take it deeper?
No, no.
Huh?
No. Whoa, whoa.
I'm trying to watch the line.
Whoa. Wait. Okay, Donnie. Okay.
Bartlett with that long guard. Played that on his out turn, a bit off the center line.
Should be there.
Martin would have preferred it right on the center line,
Weight
perhaps
should be
a little
there.
tighter.
Okay, whoa then. Look a
Don
little light to me.
Bartlett sporting the mustache. Started growing that about 3 weeks ago when he started the play downs.
Hard, line's good. Line's good. Hard, T-line. Come on. Lots of room. No, line's good. Come on, honey.
Pretty much wide open there. Bartlett hung that one out a bit, didn't get the finish on it. They had to sweep that real hard about the last 30 feet, and that took some of the curl out of it, but it should move a bit more when it's finishing.
Yep. Well, clean. Yep. Whoa. Off. Go on. Sure.
Well, there's something you see different than in a regular game. If this was a regular game at this stage, Martin, say, 1 point up or 2 points up, he'd definitely be playing the double on the top stone. But this is skin, so he doesn't care how many he gives up. He would rather have the steal.
Okay, well, line's good. Line's good. Got a lot of room, though.
So he's playing the in-turn freeze.
Yeah, it's out in the weeds. Yeah, can you freeze it? Whoa, off. Whoa, off. A lot of weight. Whoa. Sorry, Carter. Looked good.
See it all, Denny?
It was out there a long way.
Had the nice weight, just didn't curl up enough, although it did finish.
Glide bump.
I don't think Kevin gave him an excessive amount of ice.
Don't think so, but we saw earlier in the Eastern quarterfinal that it can hang there for quite a long time.
Clean. Off. Weight's good. Off. Yep. No, just clean. Clean. Off. Oh, boy.
Shot, Chris. Hard.
And this ice is extremely weight sensitive. When you just pick up your weight,
same shot,
say like back ring or hack compared to draw weight, well, it runs a lot straighter. And I talked with Kevin Martin before the game, and he said he had talked to the players who had played in the Eastern quarterfinal. And he said that's what they talked about. As long as you just increase your weight a little bit, and all of a sudden it's running a lot straighter.
Carter Rycroft, who had a strong junior career, but ran into John Morris, as did a number of other teams. Morris with a great record at junior championships, and now making his step forward into the senior ranks.
What's wrong with that?
And finding it a little tough going.
Yeah, John Morris, hasn't had the success, say, as world junior champion that he had, the last 2 years, now moving into the men's. But he came pretty close, almost made it to the provincials in the challenge round.
Carter Rycroft adds another dimension to the Kevin Martin team as you watch veteran Chris Neufeld.
Where is it, guys? Room. T-line. Room.
Definitely would like to get the inside of this rock when he freezes it.
No, Donnie. Yep.
Lots of weight still.
Well. Don't mind bumping a little. Good shot.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Front of the nose. Hack weight.
Hey.
Hack weight.
Hack. Yeah.
I really like the way Kevin Martin skips in the Skins game now. He doesn't seem to worry too much about what's happening right at the moment. He's always thinking like 3 or 4 shots in advance.
And you see Walchuk's credentials, 3 Brier titles, 2 with Kevin and 1 with Pat Ryan.
Well, he played it tight, but way too tight. Got that just a hair inside on the release and crashes big time on the guard. Advantage Peters with the hammer. And he needs at least 2 points here to win a skin.
I like that. Want to bump it? Move this one a little.
Shot for.
I like that. Good here. Tap it up a little. Nothing wrong with this, Dave.
Same weight here.
I asked Vic Peters today, I said, why is it that the Manitoba teams, you're looking at great teams here, Peters, Stoughton, and Burtnick, why none of them have ever had a lot of good fortune in the Skins game? Kerry Burtnick, the only one to ever to get to a Skins final.
Where?
In the McCains.
Yep, tap it. Hard. Whoa.
Come on. Don't bump it too much.
Yep.
And Vic had really no good answer for me. He says, I don't really know what happens here. We just don't seem to get things going good, don't seem to make the right shots at the right time. And I thought it was perhaps that if you look at the guys that are really doing well in Skins nowadays, it's guys like Martin, who can really throw the big heavyweight himself, Wayne Madaw, who can do that. But then really, if you go back to the history of Skins, Ed Wernick, who couldn't throw really a hard stone most of the time, was really the king of Skins, and Russ Howard as well, who didn't really,
bump this stuff around
really
a
a
little bit.
hard
It'd be great to
thrower
get the
himself.
4 back
But is
here
that
behind the
then perhaps an evolution of the game,
where do you
the
want to
fact
bump
that
it?
the hard throwers, when they get in trouble, know they can go maybe ping, 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 and still end up with something?
That absolutely could be what it is, for sure. But then on the other hand, you also take guys like Martin and Madaw, who have really learned how to draw as well. And they've got that tool in their bag. And
close. Yep. No. Got no line yet.
Well, nudging the yellow out, and now red 1-2.
Well, that's sitting pretty ugly for Martin and great for Peters. And the other factor there it could be, too, is when you can throw as hard and as accurate as a Kevin Martin or, say, a Wayne Madaw, it really puts the fear into the opposing skip as to what he might leave, and maybe he makes a lot of skipping errors trying to avoid a certain situation.
Good look at the delivery of Dave Smith.
Easy.
He always has that arm extension at the end.
Clean.
Take to the ring.
Okay. Clean. Okay. Freezing, that one's okay. As long as it's angled.
Hurry.
Wow.
Hurry.
Whoa. Okay.
I'll make this.
Little stackage going on there at the top of the house. Red, yellow, red.
If we pick this thing off the top, it's not the worst either. Got that
just off the nose.
up pretty good.
Just off the nose. Hey?
Yep. Yep.
Well, this shot you couldn't make with lightweight, but Kevin Martin's going to throw this one real hard, and he's looking for the triple. That onto that one, spill it out. Get rid of these 2 reds right here. Looking for the triple.
Yep. And coming with a little heat.
Hard.
1. Oh, and it drives by. Just, he had the weight for it, and he was going to clear the table.
And all the angles sitting very badly here for Kevin Martin.
Everything was heavy.
Didn't get this quite out to the broom, and he rolls into the pack and spoils a lot of the angles for himself.
Yeah, wider's quicker.
So right now we can hammer this, and it might spin there.
You better guard that, yeah. That's the shot. Give me a little more ice than you had.
Where? Right here? Go the other way too, Vic.
You got, eh? Real thin. No.
When you look at that ice that Vic Peters is taking for this guard, he's going to play a long guard on that yellow and red. They're way out by the boards for this ice, and On normal ice, that'd be a very difficult guard, but on this one where it's pebbled nicely and the Ice King is clips atop the pebble, it's keen out there by the boards. So it's pretty much the same weight as it right down the center of the sheet.
Vic's had a good year at 26 and 10, 722 winning percentage on the World Curling Tour.
Line's good.
He won 2 events in a row and was headed for his 3rd, but lost the semifinal.
4th in the money winners list with 46,800.
And he's about 20 yards deeper than he had to be with this one.
Still think Red is okay at 1-2, but I don't think he wanted that other one.
Yeah.
He could have been anywhere over the hog line with that, just blocking the path.
Yeah. Well, it's going to have to hit full 4. No. Let's not waste a lot of time on this.
Yeah. All we give him is, off of here. Okay.
Well, hasn't this changed things? All of a sudden, sliding backwards, kept him right away. Hey, look at
the
this.
rear end of that 5.
He's going with the long angle raise.
Well, he can throw it. We've seen this before in other skins action. Kevin's not afraid
All you
to
have to do
use
is we
anything.
just hit the open one is bite 4-foot. He's not going to miss that.
Doesn't feel he has enough room on the other side of the sheet to hair by and make the double inside off that red.
Whoa! Up! Right off. Right off.
Come on, curl a little, honey.
Drives it out.
Okay. Not quite.
Not
It's
enough,
2.
though. It is 2. They're not even going to have to throw that final stone, and there's a little cash going in the pocket of Vic Peters as he'll pick up 250. 250 square after 2 in the West quarterfinal. Peters and Martin.
Yes! 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 Yep! Yep! Uh-huh! Hurry! Hurry! Come on, hurry! Whoa! Whoa! Clean! Clean! Hard! Hard! Real hard! Yes!
With time comes the freedom to enjoy life. But for millions of Canadians, time can also bring the early signs of osteoarthritis. For you, we created Tylenol Arthritis Pain. With its innovative new caplet, you can now get up to 8 hours of relief.
So you can continue doing what you love.
How the years, they fly by, fleeting glimpses, moments in our lives. Gotta hold on to them, catch them while you can. These are the moments, these are the moments. JBC holds the moments of our lives.
New Tim Hortons coffee cake. Enjoy a slice and medium coffee for just $2.29.
In the other Western quarterfinal, Kerry Burtnick against Jeff Stoughton. Burtnick's final stone of the second end worth $250. He needs to keep 2 hanging around, and that's exactly what he does. 2 plus, but it's good for $250, and it's $250 apiece. Jeff Stoughton and Kerry Burtnick in the other West quarterfinal. Winners will match up in the Western semifinal tomorrow. And at stake now, it bumps up to $300 for the third end.
Peters with the early guard from Don Harvey just off the center line. Martin not playing his way off the side, but playing close to the center as well. Knowing that if he threw a corner, that Peters is just going to totally ignore that area and go into the middle anyway.
How's weight?
Weight's good.
Let's say room.
Just a quick review here of what happened earlier in the day in the Eastern quarterfinals as far as how the teams did as far as stealing skins and getting that steal with the hammer. Hemmings got 3 skins all by the steal. Harris had 2 with the hammer, 2 by steals, and 1 in the draw-off. Madaw had 3 by the steal, 2 with the hammer, and Wernick only had the 1, and that was with the hammer. So the totals were as 8 of them came via the steal, 5 with the hammer, and 1 in a draw. So really, so far, in favor of stealing rather than getting the 2 with the hammer.
Should be there.
Lots of weight. Hurry.
That theory goes a little bit by the sideboards as we see. All of the points so far in these Western ones, 1 with the hammer.
This is to the back one, eh? Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Top 8.
Well, this is actually the ideal gentlemanly way to start a skins game on both sheets. Each team has won 1 skin, so nobody's going to get shut out. They know that. So they let each other onto the board. Now they both can go for it.
A lot of room. Just for weight. A lot of room. A lot of room, guys. Good line. Okay. Keen on the side, eh? Too good a rock.
Denny Neufeld not quite enough weight, coming up short.
It's not going to be as quick down
Carter
here.
Rycroft, his intern, definitely wants to keep this one high in the rings.
Line's
They already
real nice,
have one
Drew.
deep. No sense in taking another one back there and creating a pocket,
Not lots of weight.
which Peters would just freeze into.
Short. Hard.
Don Walsh, a tremendously strong sweeper over the years, next to the stone. Martin out to help.
Okay.
Not bad. That was quick, right down the middle.
You got a talent.
On Monday, you can get your fill of all the lowdown in the world of hockey, the hockey news with Darren Millard. He's got sidekicks Mike Brophy and Nick Kiprios with him. 7:30 in all regions. And on Thursday, it's coast-to-coast action NHL game night as the Oilers face the Philadelphia Flyers. Houston and Simpson on site to call the action, while Darren Dreger holds down the fort with Mike Keenan. A little insight and activity on what else is going on after the NHL All-Star break.
Yep. Hard, Noddy.
I know as a Flames fan, Ed Lukowicz, all you care about is overtime. That's all they care about.
Good throw.
He told them to forget the rest of the game and go straight to OT.
When Calgary gets to overtime, that's their time of the game.
They're the only ones really enjoying the 4-on-4.
Well, the other night they were down 4-1, and then like 10 minutes later, they're up 5-4, and then they're tied and go to overtime again.
It's just the way to play it, I think, yeah.
Hard for line?
Yeah, it should be.
Real hard for line. Well.
But up in the oil country of Edmonton, they don't like overtime too much.
Wow.
They've had a tough time this year.
Tilted a little bit. She was good.
You're a cruel man.
Down here.
Not a rock behind the rings yet. All of the stones in play.
How's weight? Room. Yep. Hard. How's weight?
Hard for line.
Room.
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 Room. Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Hard.
Now, this is typically the way that
Hard,
Kevin
hard,
Martin
hard, every inch. Keep her going.
likes to
Hard,
play. And
hard,
this Peters,
keep her going.
and
Keep her
okay,
going.
we'll play with the crowd. Look at him get through that
Good
pie
shooting, guys.
and
What
to
is?
just the edge of the button.
It ran a good path all the way down, and it had perfect weight all the way down. The sweepers could come off it a bit. Could work it a bit. Just had that nice be there by yourself weight. Didn't come that tight to the guard, but really started to curl at the end. A tremendous amount of finish. Fully buried, more than fully buried in behind.
Ducked in right behind that red. In the 12-foot. Don Walchuk, Martin with the yellow stones.
Oh, boy. Well, that one was picking out of his hand, so he pushed it and put a lot of spin on it.
Hard.
You could hear, oh, boy, right away.
Oh. But he's close. Might be heavy.
May have corrected it. It's going to bump the red.
And that was just a tough shot for him because it had something right in his hand. He tried to move the stone around a little bit and then pushed it at the end.
Harvey and Neufeld went right to work on that area to make sure that their squad wouldn't have the same problem.
Halfway, Dave.
So in defense of Don, not much you can do when you're sliding out and all of a sudden there's something under that stone. It means that the sweepers, when they were cleaning the path for him before the shot, before it even was played, did miss something there that got under the stone.
Where's that? A lot of room.
Wait,
let it work a little. Clean.
It'll curl.
Yep. 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 Hard.
Neufeld and Harvey nursing that one over the hog line.
Go, Dave.
Smith guards it up.
Top.
Oh, boy. Put his helmet curl,
Yeah. Wasn't that close to yellow? Real close.
Now we come to the real, I think, strength of this team of Martin is that whenever they're in trouble, either Walchuk or himself seem to be able to play the one big shot here and bail them out, see if they can do it again.
Hard.
A little muscle on this stone. Yellow on red, driving it out.
Well, that sure opened it up. All of a sudden, they go from being in a lot of trouble to kind of having Vic Peters in trouble now. Vic's got to guard that rock perfectly, or he could give up a two-ender, and all of a sudden, give away a skid.
That's pretty good, eh?
Not bad.
Don talking about that first one he had in his hand, where it kicked and tried to throw as good as he could.
Too much or not? Not sure.
Vic Peters having to guard an area here about 3 feet in width.
A little left, Dave.
You'd like to position this guard pretty much right in the center of that 3-foot hole.
Room. Well, room. Let it curl. Yep. Yep, get it to the curl.
Let it curl a lot.
If it doesn't curl enough or over curls, then he could leave a port there.
Real hard.
Wider than the 11 inches of a stone,
Cross, guys.
which Martin could come through.
Keep her going. Hard, come on. Keep her going, Denny. Every inch.
Want to keep sweeping at the end to get it to curl a little bit just as it's dying. Denny stays right with it. Martin says, yeah, there's a hole there.
Maybe a little more ice, Don.
Kevin Martin says this hole between those stones, that port is more than 11 inches. Diameter of a curling stone, so he's just going to sneak right through there with hack weight, make a play on that shot stone. It's got to curl quite a bit once it gets through the port, so he's just playing back ring weight.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Mine's good. Mine's good. Hurry.
Whoa.
Hard, 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 hard. Come on, come on. Hard, 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 hard. No. Gotta get on it quicker.
And he just puts the two reds open and leaving yellow there is a high guard.
Well, more than anything, he was light here.
He also said we should have jumped on it earlier. I don't know if that would have helped.
Yeah.
He didn't have the weight.
Yeah, I think even with tremendous sweeping, he might have only been
If we play
top
it with
rank.
your other one and just sweep it to get...
Yeah.
Play the guard for, like the...
What was my ice before?
You had here.
Okay, stay with that.
May have been a hair wide.
Stay with that.
Okay.
ideally we need to get a corner around, right?
Vic Peters wants to come in a little tighter with this guard this time, position it
But I
right
can't take
about
I'm
here,
not taking that side.
so that he guards the shot stone,
Let's
but
take a couple
also
inches
cuts
more,
off
'cause
this
you're long,
raise
eh?
possibility, blocks that as well.
You don't want it to keep curling and come to there.
Yeah, all right. I don't necessarily want to throw much more weight. Halfway, right?
Well, this type of shot, if you're Vic Peters, you just slide out with weight, which would get you to about the midpoint between that far hog line and rings, and then just adjust your weight on the release.
Okay.
Clean.
Clean. Yep. Remember, I got to get over
Where's
that
the
line.
weight?
Well.
Clean.
Well.
Clean.
Wow.
Clean. Right
Wow.
here.
Yep. Whoa, whoa.
Oh, can't over curl.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Ah.
Clean, clean.
Ah.
Clean. Clean. Clean, just clean. Okay, good shot.
Well, I think Vic Peters and crew are going to like that.
May have left a hole, but not much of one.
Holy.
Well, there's a hole there. You're going to have to throw it a million mile an hour.
Yeah. Well, that's not much of a hole. You don't like this? Close.
Off the red?
Yeah.
Whatever you want to play.
Wow. I don't like any of my choices. I don't know, this hole's just...
I think that's the mark of a good skip
Play
head
puck.
here. When in doubt, delegate.
There's a very small
Let's play
hole
that
there,
angle.
and the shot,
Show me
even
where
if
we
it gets
get
through
through.
the hole, is only to clip out shot stone and roll out himself and get a carryover.
Well, yeah. There, but he's just barely there.
Has picked out an in-turn double raise. Has to hit pretty well all he can see of the yellow one.
Whoa! Right up!
Oh, get close.
Right up!
Whoa!
Right up!
So $300 on the line. Drives one out. It is going to be a steal for Vic Peters. So Vic starts to benefit. He'll pick up $300 and take a $550 advantage to Kevin Martin's $250 after 3 ends of play at the 2000 GM Goodwrench Skins.
This old mop makes me shake.
That old vacuum makes me ache. This old rag drags me down.
This box rocks. The radical new Swiffer Sweeper, so simple to assemble.
And it's built to last.
Swiffer now I'm sliding,
Sweeping and a gliding.
Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer cloths use electrostatic action to attract and trap hair, crumbs, and common allergens. When you're done, just toss the cloth.
Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done in the household cleaners aisle.
My hat's pink, my curling shoes are pink, and my phone is pink. My favorite color's pink. My name is Shorty Jenkins, and I make ice. Dave, you want to take the hand scraper start? First thing do I ask somebody where the closest Tim Hortons is?
When he's in town, he's in here every morning. Early.
Well, I flood the ice, and then I go into Tim Hortons. And then I come back, flood the ice, and then I go back to Tim Hortons. That's the large double-double, please. I go back and forth all day long. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Shorty's Ice is by far the best ice in Canada, probably in the world.
Really? The cha-cha?
Yes. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
And I also like to dance. She's danced everybody else but me, and I'm very upset. This is where I'm most comfortable, right here, drinking my hot coffee. Yes, it's good. Really instantly warms up my hands. If there's a Tim Hortons in town, I'll guarantee you you're going to have good ice.
M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
Hurry!
Uniroyal tires, available at GM Goodwrench dealers across Canada.
Promotional consideration for the 2000 GM Goodwrench skins by the Delta, Toronto East, close to everything in Toronto. By Gear for Sports. And by Grower Direct, fresh cut flowers. And the score here, 550 for Vic Peters, 250 for Kevin Martin as they now step it up into the fourth end. Another $300 on the line.
And finally, a steal in the game there by Vic Peters in the slots. I think if I had to comment on skins game strategy from what I've seen over the years is that the biggest difference is that the team without the hammer, as Peters was there, really goes for the steal all the way. They don't care what's happening. They just want to steal that point. And so really, I think if I was skipping in skins, I would try to be just a hair more defensive with the hammer. Like I would play into the free guard zone as Martin has on this end with his leads first stone, but I might try and keep the middle just a little bit more open when I had the hammer, because as we've seen from the stats, steals are a dime a dozen here.
Well, and I think Kevin Martin said that so well in our opening, too. It doesn't matter if you give up 6 or 5. You just move on. Thanks very much. It's not going to blow the game open as it would in a regular match. It's only one end. Thanks. We'll just start all over again.
I think Vic Peters has to be a happy man. This might be the first time ever that he's been a hit in the skins game. He's always had tough luck.
We'll keep you updated on the action in the other Western quarterfinal, a carryover in the Stoughton-Burtnick match. Stoughton just drawing in for 1, deciding to go for the carryover. Burtnick now with the hammer, but it's a $600 end.
Line's good.
$250 apiece in the Burtnick-Stoughton matchup.
Off it.
Just piping it a bit.
Whoa, needs to curl. Oh, it's bumpy.
Hack weight.
Here are the numbers for the leads through 3 ends. 79% both men. Bartlett and Harvey.
Very tight there between those two leads.
The two Dons.
How's weight?
Well, these two teams played in the quarterfinals last year, as this year in the same event in Calgary, and in that one, Martin came away with the win. He won 3,250 of the 5,000, and Peters got 1,750.
Boy, Denny. Good go.
Denny Neufeld spits out that Yellowstone. Well, to show you the attraction of this event, Kathy Borst is in town to get a little physical therapy and also for the NHL All-Star game, but knew that this was on, so she made sure she visited. She joined us in the Eastern semifinal earlier today, and it's nice to see her. She is out of the Alberta Scott running. Heather Netowin winning, moving to the Scott Tournament of Hearts. But Kathy says that she'll be ready for a special event in April. The Swiffer Pro-Am Challenge in Toronto.
Try to sit there.
Just didn't want to miss any curling action.
Back ring, Denny.
What I've seen so far, I think Vic Peters has just decided that he's going to come out in this game and play this skins game the way it should be. Gamble like crazy. Lots of rocks in play. Maybe the other times he played it, he was a little bit afraid of it. And of course, I guess if you don't make good shots, best strategy in the world doesn't win for you anyway.
Slides it through.
And there's a good one from Denny Neufeld.
Nice shot again. 2 good shots by Neufeld.
Judy.
After 3 ends, 75% for Neufeld, 71 for Carter Rycroft.
Neufeld with a slight edge there, and he's the guy to play a big game today, does Denny, to win this, because if you have your second missing shots for you, then all of a sudden you face the rest of the end trying to catch up and clear guards off and get near the forefoot.
Got room. Line only, lots of weight. Whoa, then. Whoa,
bumping.
Whoa. Line's good. Room. Whoa. We're bumping. Okay. Whoa.
That digs in and will freeze to the red.
Pucker.
Well, there's that collection of rocks again. And next weekend, Ed and I will join you from the Nepean, Ontario, just outside Ottawa, for the 2000 Nokia Cup Ontario Men's Curling Championship from the Steve Yzerman Arena. Saturday semifinal play, Sunday the championship. We're looking forward to it.
Hard.
Great field going to the Nepean area.
Well, that's going to be a great championship in Nokia. Rich Moffat, the defending champion there.
Where's the weight?
Wayne Madaw back.
Real hard, guys.
Mike Harris there as well, so the big three right there. Going to be a tremendous play down for the right to go to the Briar in Saskatoon.
Okay. Good sweep.
Top of the rings as Vic Peters keeps everything in place. Has 2 yellows. It looks like 1-2.
I kind of like throwing one into here. I don't know, we're laying 2.
At least that's Kevin Martin's opinion on it, too.
Well, Martin might be laying the 2, but a very important shot is that one right, that rock right at the top 4 foot, that red one, which Peters can nudge up for shot.
Line's good. We need a guard, though.
Martin, well aware of that, trying to block it up.
Okay. Hurry. Hard.
Lost. That one's losing its handle right there, moving sideways.
Whoa.
Well, he gets the guard, but he really wanted to come in tighter, come about half in behind it and block that raise as well. Vic Peters scooting out to have a look.
Bump this one, Dave. Hack weight.
I can see enough of that other one still, eh?
What?
I can see lots of that other one still.
Think it's there? Yeah, we got to open something up for. You hit. Yeah, but you got this.
Yeah, he won't play the double over.
Try to tap it through here.
Okay.
Let's take a look at third number is no hits for Dave Smith. He's at 79% on draw total, and Walchuk's at 71%.
Don had that pick last in where he missed that shot with lightweight.
No.
Whoa.
Smith may have overthrown this one. It was a shot that he didn't want to throw.
Whoa.
No. Roll it. Yep.
Roll it.
Roll yours, Donnie. Roll it. Okay.
Well, the best thing he was going to hope for there was maybe that he could have bumped it off that yellow guard, but didn't get it.
Good fortune wasn't on his side. They probably had to jump the sweep a little earlier.
$300 in this fourth end. The skin that Kevin Martin and Vic Peters are battling for. Martin with the hammer.
And Martin's in tough here. He just seems to realize he can't do much with that red one right at top 4. Guard it up, hope for the best.
Whoa. Okay. Whoa then.
Whoa.
A lot of room.
Whoa.
Go off it.
Just clean it.
Well, that's a lot of room. Whoa. Right off. Whoa. That's good.
Well, not so good. He rolled off. That red one in the 12 foot now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie Campbell. Join Mike Toth and I for the primetime edition of Sports Central. We've got the All-Star Game covered. We'll talk to a number of the stars, including Jaromir Jagr and Paul Kariya. We'll hear from Gary Bettman on the state of the game and the situation involving participation in the Olympics. It's all coming up after curling.
All he needs, draw weight. Back 4 foot. Just tap it straight back, that red one of his in the 12 foot.
No.
Yep, hurry.
Whoa.
You're going to try the other way.
Gets through, bump. But it now makes yellow shot.
That's as hard as my hard gets.
Looking at the skip comparison through 3 ends.
Okay, hard enough.
Kevin Martin, a surprising 67%. Vic Peters has only thrown 5 stones. As you remember, they didn't have to even throw his last rock in the second end.
In defense of Martin, he's played a couple of angle raises, very difficult ones. 2 tough ones in the second one, another one in the third.
Here. Yeah. Well, the only problem with coming around here at all is, of course, setting up the double bump a little easier, eh?
Yeah. Like right now, well, we got to guard this in-turn bump. That's the easiest shot. Just guard the hole. Nothing we can do.
Well, with Kevin Martin owning the hammer, he wants to clog up traffic in front.
Like a good skip, he's checking that path that his rock is going to run as he goes down the ice. He's leading second, have been cleaning it, but he's just checking himself. He said he wants to guard fairly high, but that looks like a lot of weight.
Line's pretty good. Kevin told us last night that he doesn't use a watch. He is strictly a feel curler. You can tell whether or not he's got the right weight just by the feel of it as it leaves his hand as he's coming out of the hack.
Good. Whoa.
Well, he kept the guard long.
You're a touch curler as well. You don't use a
curls up too much.
watch, do you?
Well, I only curled a month this year, and that was the last month in the playdowns and the spiel we played in.
Yeah,
I didn't use a watch at all, although every once in a while I just asked the front-end players. I was throwing third stones and skipping the game. Just asked them what they thought of weight, and they could either tell me through a number or through just it's a little keener or a little heavier here. I like to really play by feel rather than by the watch.
Like the same weight, though, just through it. You gotta hit that just
stopwatch has become ever present.
You know,
different timing schemes.
Yeah, onto the one in the center.
They use.
That's the easier way.
Well, nobody's really told us out there from the ice really whether Martin right now is counting one or two.
Room!
Well, it's pretty close for second shot.
Whoa, off. Nothing.
Jeez.
And that's the trick in this ice. A little bit more weight just runs right through the curl. You need a lot less ice when you're picking your weight up, and it looks like a count of two.
And that's what Dave Smith is saying. Don't worry about it, Kevin. It is two for you, and it is all square. And $300 skin for Kevin Martin. $550 for Peters. $550 for Martin after 4 ends here in the Western quarterfinal of the Scarboro Golf and Country Club.
With time comes the freedom to enjoy life. But for millions of Canadians, time can also bring the early signs of osteoarthritis. For you, we created Tylenol Arthritis Pain. With its innovative new caplet, you can now get up to 8 hours of relief.
So you can continue doing what you love.
M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
Hurry!
Uniroyal tires, available at GM Goodwrench dealers across Canada.
At the Array, we know Canadian communities. Our 3,000 employees who live and work all across Canada are proud to provide quality service to some 450 of these communities every day, every week, all year long.
Welcome inside the curling facility at the Scarboro Golf and Country Club, Scarboro, Ontario, just east of downtown Toronto. As you watch the fifth end just underway between Kevin Martin and Vic Peters. Martin was able to pick up $300 in skins money. It is all tied at $5.50 apiece.
Threw that pretty hard, didn't he? To only get there.
Thought he'd be tired.
But now the money starts to move again. $400 for this end.
Where's it? Top to all fake. A lot of room. Come down. No.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good that type of crash. I just had to give more.
Yep. Whoa.
Well, clearly there's really been no edge. The teams are tied in money right now. They both won 2 skins. Both playing a very similar style. Trying to get to the 4-foot first. Yep. Get a couple rocks in there. Guard them up. Now this end, Vic Peters with the hammer. Martin going for the steal. Needs to steal a point to get the skin.
I think it should be
line's good. Freeze.
It's there. Nope. No. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, lots of weight. Nope. Gotta go.
Hart. Line's good.
Gotta go.
Whoa. Whoa.
Gotta go.
Sucker's not curling. Come on. Hurt.
Okay.
Well, now for Kerry Burtnick. Last rock, 4th end, $600 on the line. Burtnick with the yellow rock. Jeff Ryan holding the broom.
He's facing 2 stout encounters.
That's right. He's got a little trouble there.
One of them right on the button. He's playing a very soft in-turn come around. No way Burtnick can get 2, but he can save the end.
It gets through the guard, through the portal, and that's what you call just collecting a single to make it a carryover. You wipe your brow, you say, oh yeah, that's what I plan to do all along. Hands in your pockets, never a doubt. It's going to be more carryover for Burtnick and Stoughton. As we move back to our game, Carter Rycroft.
Wait, should be there.
And he's just an amazing young player. He can throw the big weight, and he's learning how to do that from Walchuk and Martin, but it's getting pretty nice with that soft weight stuff. There he is with the draw tap.
Very nice.
Now starting to get interesting in the Burtnick-Stoughton match, the carryover for the 5th end. It's a cool grand.
So you get her past ours,
$1,000.
Peters has shot Stone coming in for the second shot.
How's
Denny
weight?
Neufeld.
Light. Wow. Just here. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. Well. Okay.
That one a little short. See what Martin elects to do.
Forward weight.
Asking Carter Rycroft for in-turn board weight. He'll raise that Neufeld Stone.
Major.
One of that one he tapped up for a freeze.
Hard.
Hard. Not yet. Hard. Hard.
Just rubs. Probably wouldn't have had it anyway if he got by it. Interesting thing about this Kevin Martin team, we mentioned them that they are going to the provincials next week in Medicine Hat. It will be an 18 playoff, a round robin with the first place team getting a bye to the final with 2 playing.
That makes it harder, plus it
Interesting
doesn't do
enough,
anything for us.
a player that he used to curl with when he was a junior, when he first started curling, Kevin Martin, a guy by the name of Rick Snethan from Wainwright, will be in that provincial as well, representing one of the 3 teams from the north.
Wainwright, of course, one of the stops on the World Curling Tour. Roaming the Buffalo Classic. Had a lot of fun out there.
Gotta go past ours.
That was a great cup weekend for us in Wainwright.
Past ours. All right.
I don't want to stress to you exactly who won that Grey Cup.
Well, obviously, it wasn't the Western.
No, it was my Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Good throw, Denny. Too much tap and roll?
No. But Calgary did win the year before.
Yeah, I said nothing last year. This year,
That's got to be close. It's almost exactly on the center line. Draw in here. Freeze. Draw here.
Well, it's that time in the game where I think these 2 teams have had a good look at this ice now. They know what it's doing for draw. And Peters from last in really has found out that if you pick your weight up even a little bit, it runs straighter than heck in a lot of the places.
Don Walchuk.
Right off. Right off. Right off.
Bartlett just dusting lightly.
Wow.
Oh. Oh.
Playing the rub off the red. He gets right in behind. Oh, that's a nice shot.
Yeah, Kevin asked for the freeze or a little inside roll, and you got the inside roll. I think you'll like better.
Bump that one, Dave. Draw bump.
Draw bump?
Yeah. Come across it a bit to here's good.
All right.
Straight back.
Vic Peters hoping to have the ice figured now for this
Heavy.
one. Didn't make the raises last in
Good
when
line.
he had
Hurry
to.
for line.
Hard. Sutton.
Well, that one picked and it's over curling big time.
Whoa, let her rack.
Well. Okay.
And speaking of action on ice, we've got it for you on CTV Sportsnet. The Quebec Major Junior Hockey League All-Star Game comes your way Wednesday from the Molson Center in Montreal. Take a look at the time in your area as you see the stars of the future on display. Quebec League All-Star Game. And for more information on everything, you can dial it up, ctvsportsnet.com. The curling section, a hockey section, junior hockey, auto racing, figure skating, some of everything on the web.
How about bumping our yellow?
Good article on that from Tom Nate.
It's pretty
I
good
think
right
you'd be
now.
tuned in very quickly on that.
Well, I would have figured here a guard from Kevin Martin having shot rock, but I guess he likes what he sees up front.
Yep.
Asking Walter to just hit and roll out in this spot. Eliminate the red.
He does that.
And you just sense right now that Kevin Martin's team seems to be making the shots on a regular basis, and all of a sudden, the Peters team has kind of taken a hiatus from making shots. Struggled at the end of last end, and now this end as well.
Big back, tapping.
But I don't know why Kevin Martin would have left this little tap. I'm really surprised that he didn't guard. He could have played a real long guard on that. Guarded the yellow and the red.
How's weight? Got a cut. Needs it? Yep. Well, where's it? Yep. Hurry. Yep. Hurry. Hard. Hard. Good line, guys. Hard.
The line's good now if he has
Keep her
the
going.
weight.
Keep her going. Keep her going.
And not enough on the bump to make it shot.
Okay. Well,
Gotta be on it all the way.
Well, and that was a pretty easy shot to move in there. Totally exposed, just needed another 3 feet of weight. But they seem to be struggling with the amount the ice is going to curl to get there.
$400
There's
end.
not much else I can do.
But both teams tied at $550.
Like it's angled in such a way that he could bump it onto the button for one, right? We might as well guard it. I don't know.
And our viewers might ask, well, why doesn't Kevin Martin just play that raise in the center, red on a yellow? And he's just thinking, well, if I make it, perhaps I leave Vic Peters with something for more than the one count.
Lot of room. Line 12.
Right now he figures he's got
Needs to curl
Peters down to nothing more than a one count and might even steal himself.
Gotta move.
Yeah.
Finish it then.
Hurt.
All the way. Hard. Hard. Right up.
Hurt. Hurt. That's good.
Okay.
Good.
This time he guards it.
Oh, no. Should be the right way.
Yours curled here, Danny. Your first one, your next one didn't.
Well, two choices for Vic Peters. He could come around that guard, although it's got to curl an awful lot to get the shot stolen right there.
Well, that's going to be a little back range.
Other choice, play the raise here.
Just
tap that one and move his in for shot stolen into that area.
Hey, back range.
That would be the better shot. I'm pretty sure that's what he's playing. This spot's given the teams trouble. Sometimes it's taken off.
Whoa! Yeah. Yep. Whoa! If you can. Whoa!
Yep.
Whoa! 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 Whoa!
And that's exactly what he wanted. Peters' shot. Quite a crowd there to try to get through it, to dislodge it.
Yeah.
Finally. The Peters team has come up with a good one.
Now what?
Just a matter of getting the ice figured out as to how much it's going to curl. Beautiful ice for weight. Peters gets that one in. A lot of good angle sitting his way. Not much left for Martin.
Like, I'm not talking bomb weight, but...
Peters has the hammer in this end. This is Martin's final stone of the fifth.
And with that statement, Robin, might be difficult for Peters to get in there for his two for this game.
Line's a little tight. How's the weight?
He might be just looking now at it, strictly saying, all right, let's carry over and see what we've got in there.
Well, that looks like what Martin is doing. He's just throwing a guard.
Clean to stop. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Martin saying, okay, Peters, take your one.
Danny, I went out here and it never got to here.
That's fully buried, right? That's up.
Like the tick?
Comes in hard here, eh?
Need full four.
Line here would
need full four. No, I don't think so.
You get that. Goes hard.
No, Denny's did nothing.
At the end it did.
I went out wider than the edge of the 8. Never got near the 4 foot.
At the end it did, though. I don't care. You like that better? We'll play
well, I gave you here, it got to here. Yeah, I think let's play bumper at that.
You want to play it as a raise or a wick?
Wick. A little more. A little more.
Oh, fifth every. We'll be close.
It's got to be full 4. It's not like half 4.
Vic Peters just playing hack weight, coming off the side one on his in turn. He's going to curl over the top of it.
Clicking, or you can get a little.
Play a rub in here for shot stone, right to that area.
Quiet bumper, Vic?
Yeah.
It'd be a heck of a shot if he can make it. Rob, you picked that one out. You said that's what he should play. Come off that side one.
Well, I just thought because the yellow was there, maybe he had a little backing if he didn't have enough on it.
Hey, whoa, yep, yep, hard, hard, whoa, whoa.
He's still got one. Boy, that had disaster spelled all over it. But it is going to be a carryover after 5. So the 6th end, all of a sudden, you add $500 more. It's going to be worth $900 when we return to Scarborough.
M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
With time comes the freedom to enjoy life. But for millions of Canadians, time can also bring the early signs of osteoarthritis. For you, we created Tylenol Arthritis Pain. With its innovative new caplet, you can now get up to 8 hours of relief.
So you can continue doing what you love.
M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
Traveling by train is the truly civilized way to do business. Fine-tune an important presentation. Stay in touch with the office. Or relax and restore your soul. For those who value their time, there's only one way to arrive. Ready for business.
CTV Sportsnet is proud to present the 2000 GM Goodwrench Skins. Brought to you by GM Goodwrench Service. We love cars. Swiffer. When Swiffer's the one, consider it done. And by Tim Hortons, the coffee you can count on.
And there's a good look at downtown Toronto. You see Sky Dome, the CN Tower. We're in Scarboro, where Kevin Martin and Vic Peters are at the fifth end break, all tied up with a little carryover action going into six. Well, Scarboro Golf and Country Club is playing host to the Skins. We want to tell you that tomorrow the semifinals go at 11:30, 8:30 in the morning Pacific if you want to start your day with us, and the championship final at 7 o'clock in all regions, a total purse of $75,000. And welcome inside to the Scarborough Golf and Country Club. And this man is a member here. He is also the Canadian Senior Men's Curling Champion, Bob Turcotte, and congratulations to you.
Thanks very much, Rob.
Now, this is getting to be old hat for you. What are you, just as soon as you go to the Canadians, they hand you the trophy, you are 3 for 3.
Yeah, we've been lucky. We've been fortunate to win the 3 championships.
What went right for you in Portage?
Well, we didn't know how we'd play because we hadn't played very much leading up to the competition, and we just grew stronger and stronger as the week went on.
What was the ice condition like? I know that Manitoba prides itself on having some pretty good ice.
Well, we heard horror stories about Portage before we went there, but the ice was fantastic. The rocks were good. I can't say anything but great things about the conditions.
So you get a chance to celebrate. You come back to your home club, and they put you right to work, don't they?
That's right. I'm really enjoying it. I'm driving Kevin Martin's team this week.
And as it stands right, so I know that he'd probably be your favorite right now, but this is, I know, you're sharing any tips here on the ice?
No, the ice is fantastic. I hope they make the ice like this all after these guys leave.
Well, congratulations to you, Bob. You and your foursome, another Canadian title, and, well, why not one more in 2001?
That's right. I hope so. Thanks very much, Rob.
Congratulations to you. Bob Turcotte, Canadian Senior Men's Champion. This is his home club. He's had a chance to celebrate for a couple of weeks at least. Stay with us. We've got more.
With time comes the freedom to enjoy life. But for millions of Canadians, time can also bring the early signs of osteoarthritis. For you, we created Tylenol Arthritis Pain. With its innovative new caplet, you can now get up to 8 hours of relief.
So you can continue doing what you love.
Is it the adventure, the excitement of train travel that makes many of us become children again? Is it that within us lives a purpose to one day soon rediscover this great country. Are you ready?
Uniroyal tires, available at GM Goodwrench dealers across Canada.
M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of party food ideas, one aisle.
Perhaps the Scarboro Golf and Country Club should be called the Oasis. It's tucked away just east of busy downtown Toronto. Scarboro was founded in the early 1900s, was originally used as a weekend retreat. Many would take the train trip from the city to stay at the Victorian-style clubhouse. It is a popular place for meetings and, of course, wedding receptions. The golf course is a beauty, designed by A.W. Tillinghast. It's a challenge for all levels. Scarboro also boasts a fine curling facility. It's more than just a club, the Scarboro Golf and Country Club. Time now for the fifth end breakdown as we take a look in this matchup. It is two skins apiece, $550 apiece between Kevin Martin and Vic Peters.
Well, I would have expected a little bit higher percentages from these teams in this Western quarterfinal. I think they had a chance to watch the ice later, a little bit earlier in the day when the Eastern quarters were on, and I think that they really haven't picked up on the fact that when you just increase that weight a little bit, the hack weight is running so much straighter. There's quite a few misses there.
On the other quarterfinal, Jeff Stoughton here with $1,000 on the line with the hammer. Watch this. Comes in. Doesn't like the look of that yellow, so he'll just bump it out of the way. Stoughton picks up $1,000, now leads Kerry Burtnick $1,250 to $250 as they head to the sixth end. And action underway in the sixth end. Kevin Martin and Vic Peters. Martin with the hammer with a $900 ticket on the line in N6.
Coming around, that's why I was saying weight was good.
An almost straight takeout weight from Don Harvey as he hits and rolls right to the side.
There's Alan's here, and he brought that guy from... Alan's here now. He brought that other guy we met from Rock.
Definitely more. Lots of weight.
Okay.
Lots of weight. Back 4. Back 8. Coming down. Coming down. Hip.
Oh. Yes, the weight's starting to come down on that one. Don Bartlett with the end turn. Martin getting some nice finish out of it at the end. Some half buries.
Good job. Yeah,
I think now this is where we start to see Kevin Martin, Skins King, start to tune it up. I mean, he gets more and more intense as the money totals per end start to go up and up. The crowds have been amazing here at the Scarboro Golf and Country Club. The organizing committee has done a wonderful job. After the afternoon Eastern quarterfinals, they had somebody playing music. There was dancing. They had a lot of fun going on, so they've planned it as a full-day activity. And we salute them for getting so many people involved. And
well, in that halftime show, Mark LaBelle was here, and he's famous across all the Briar centers for the entertainment that he provides.
You're going to call it halftime, are you?
Doesn't have to go for
We're
weight.
trying to figure out the best way to refer to it. But halftime seems right.
Okay. Got a lot of room.
I think Paul Savage liked it the best. Couldn't get him off the dance floor.
Carter Rycroft.
That's pretty hard.
Turn there.
For a skip, eh?
Somebody from the crowd yelled at Kevin Martin, "Come on, hard!" He looked over and said, "That was
See,
pretty
Martin,
hard."
That's all there is in the
That's
tank
all
there.
I've given you.
Same weight. Same weight.
Brought a little color to his cheeks. Kevin's being skipped from the stands. Denny Neufeld.
Yep. No. Ah. Yep.
Well, that's a skip, and when it comes to sweeping, what really makes you feel bad is when you try and sweep the opponent's rock out of the house and you're sweeping as hard as you can, and the opposing skip says to you, "Thanks for slowing it down for us."
Roll's good.
That's trash talk in curling, isn't it?
Down normal.
Carter Rycroft playing the soft double. A little more than board weight.
It's good.
And boy, that's a nice delivery. Flat foot slide right in behind.
So typical of the young curlers.
And look at the shot he makes. Martin doesn't mind that one being on the side. Carter wanted me to say hello to a friend of his, Jason Cornish from Edmonton, who's laid up in the hospital with a serious back injury, so we wish him well.
Top eight's good. How's weight? Yep, tight.
Well, that one really looks tight.
No. Yep, line it
Dave
up.
Smith is all over this guard.
Yeah, line it up. Bump it.
Don't know whether that one picked a bit out of his hand or if he just got it well inside.
Okay.
$5,000 in the quarterfinals. This is how they split it up. So it's interesting. You could win ends 1 through 7 and still end up
with only half of the pot.
That's right. So as you mentioned, Ed, you've got to make sure you make the shots in 8, 9, and 10. We saw the Harris-Hemmings match have to go to a shootout to decide it.
Well, the way you win the game is by winning more than half of the 5,000. So once a team is over the $2,500 mark, that would move that team into the semifinal.
Okay.
And the way the event works, we have the eastern quarters, the western quarters, and the eastern semis, western semis, and then the final.
Wayne Maddaw had $2,700 locked up by the 8th end. But there was still $1,800, so a fair bit of cash to play with, and Maddaw took that home too. $4,500 from his quarterfinal victory over Ed Wernick.
Sweeping hard here on this Don Walchuk stone, trying to get the split. Absolutely perfect, and Vic Peters is in a big jam here.
Shot, Don.
And nothing really in the button area or back 4-foot area to freeze up to.
What else?
To escape from the end.
And you just saw Vic Peters kind of hold his hands up.
We get
So
beside
what
that
else?
one. Do we get second shot?
Well, most certainly the Kevin Martin team has played a great end, but the Peters team hasn't.
Even
Dave Smith all over that guard on his last one with the draw attempt.
Where is it? Where is it? A lot of room. Yep. Well, still room. Yep. Hard. Hard. Real hard.
Hard. Whoa. Yep.
Now it's the best thing to do. Make yourself shot.
Oh, and credit this ice half buried right in between right behind a stone that's fully in the 8-foot.
Could try to bump it.
I think Martin's just going to try and pick this one out with about board or take a weight.
Double peel. All right.
I don't know, I can tap it.
It's fine with me.
Oh, okay, I see what you're playing.
And there he is, the wrench, Ed Wernick. It was great to see him with his son Ryan on the squad, and then Glenn Howard and Neil Harrison. Glenn jumping on board with Eddie this year. Russ living in New Brunswick.
Wow. Finish. Good shot.
Russ in his provincial championships right now. Moved to New Brunswick. He is running the golf program at a brand new course out there, Royal Oak.
If we get too much to the nose,
Speaking of Russ Howard, this weekend he's in the New Brunswick provincial playoffs. 8 teams left there. He qualified through the A event last weekend in the 32-team playoff.
Yeah. Well, even stuff here. Surround, and then we can double.
What if we played this? Go right up to that.
Yeah.
At least then we're
even right there.
We're getting rid of his chances to roll out.
Yeah. Yeah, we come right from across and come off.
If you ever got one to roll right to there, that's fine.
That's what we got, right? I don't see how. Quiet hit. Hey, what else? There's nowhere to go. Try to freeze there, he's got the double.
The situation is that Kevin Martin has the hammer here and has 3 yellow ones, which are all second shot.
Try to play the role, but even a nose isn't
Vic
bad.
Peters only has the 1 shot stone, that red at the back button.
Nope. Third, though.
And it's tough to guard it and the straight back raise
to roll right
as well.
over there, right on freezing on ours.
So he's playing ahead on this yellow, hoping to stay there and actually praying when Martin comes to shoot that he won't be able to make the double.
A little more, Dave. No, a little more, yeah. Is that a hair there, too? Oh, it's in there, yeah. Yeah.
Hey!
But the first thing in any curling game, you have to make your shot first. Not worry what the opponent's going to do yet. Make yours, see what he does.
Well, he bumps his out and moves his behind cover.
And there he was so worried about what Martin might do, he didn't make his own shot. Now he's just left a very routine tap back for Kevin Martin.
No guards outside the rings, everything in the rings right now, and of course that leaves it for Kevin Martin.
Around the nose.
Good. Nice.
First stone in this end for Kevin Martin. I think he likes the way this is taking shape. Because now that just rids.
Whoa.
More roll than he wanted.
Well, he got awfully lucky. He didn't throw that very well. Turned it in.
Too, maybe.
And it seems to me on his outturn, on his release of his outturn, that he's going over it a little bit more on the release than he has in the past. Making it curl. There's 2 ways that can happen. Either when the person's coming out, they go past the 12 o'clock position on the release of that outturn and go over the top of it too much. Or they start the handle on the stone a little bit too early rather than most of the handle being put on the release. Vic Peters, no hesitation, playing the in-turn freeze.
Wait to see.
And I sense some perplexion here about the way they've played the last couple of ends. Not really forcing Kevin Martin to have to earn this skin.
Lots of weight, it looks like. Where is it? What? Whoa. Not very good.
Just going to touch it, maybe. Yeah, it's onto it. It's onto it.
Didn't get the freeze, got the tap, and
I think it's just a nose hit.
Wide open.
Or onto that, hate to spin off.
No, I'll go this way.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see that one all the way from Edmonton. It's totally wide open.
That's a pretty good view then. And all Kevin Martin needs is 2 to take the $900 available. There's a carryover
across the top
from end number 5. $400 plus the $500 for N6. So Kevin Martin's in good shape now to add a little to his bank account.
Well, let's see this out turn again. Last couple of years, you're putting the handle on fairly late. That was better.
Hard. 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 Whoa. Up.
And that is good as Martin takes the carryover, $900. He's got $1,450 after 6 ends of play.
My hat's pink, my curling shoes are pink, and my phone is pink. My favorite color is pink. My name is Shorty Jenkins, and I make ice. Dave, you want to take the hand screw and start? First thing do I ask somebody where the closest Tim Hortons is?
When he's in town, he's in here every morning, early.
Well, I flood the ice, and then I go into Tim Hortons. And then I come back, flood the ice, and then I go back to Tim Hortons. Extra large double, please. I go back and forth all day long. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Shorty's ice is by far the best ice in Canada, probably in the world.
Really? The cha-cha?
Yes. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
And I also like to dance. She's danced everybody else but me, and I'm very upset. This is where I'm most comfortable, right here, drinking my hot coffee. Yes, it's good. Really instantly warms up my hands. If there's a Tim Hortons in town, I'll guarantee you're going to have good ice.
How the years, they fly by, fleeting glimpses, moments in our life. Gotta hold on to them, catch them while you can. These are the moments, these are the moments. JBC holds the moments of our lives.
There's the view of Toronto from the CN Tower. Good look there, and a good look at the scores. Kevin Martin picked up $900 in the 6th to take a $1,450 advantage. As we look at the final stone, 6th end. Gary Burtnick trying to chip it off Stoughton's red to move it in to maybe get a carryover. Doesn't work. A steal by Stoughton of $500, and he added that to his $1,250 total. He's got $1,750. Burtnick with $250. Moving into N7, another $500.
Hurry for line.
Bartlett with the third shot of the end.
Line's real.
Previous
Line's
two
perfect.
stones already in play.
Gotta go for weight. Okay, hurry. Line's real good, guys. Need help.
Right in.
Good line. Would have liked it perhaps just a little bit deeper. Vic Peters calling for the out-turn, Barry. Vic has had an excellent tour season so far this year on the World Curling Tour, winning $46,800 and won 2 events in a row. Won that M&M Meat Shop event in London, Ontario, and then the McCain West in Portage, and then went for his 3rd in a row in Sault Ste. Marie. And guess who stopped his run in the semifinals? It was Kevin Martin, and then Martin losing that final to Wayne Madoff.
Around the corner.
Well, 1 year ago at the Skins in Calgary, it was Martin who stopped Peters in the quarters. Look at the draw. How do they decide who plays who? Well, last year they did it by a draw system. This year they made them earn it. They had to go to the pin.
Yeah, the teams drew to the pin, and the 4 Western teams that drew, Peters was the closest, and Martin was second, so they got to play in this game today on the TV sheet. Stoughton and Burtnick, who were third and fourth in drawing to the pin.
Lots of
Play
weight.
each other on the
Line's
other side.
not bad. A lot of room. Line's not bad.
Lots of weight. Oh.
Yeah.
Coming down.
Come down.
Weight's good.
Room.
Lots of room.
Lots of weight still.
They'll do the same to decide who plays on which sheet in the semifinals. We'll draw to the button activity.
Oh, nice curl in at the end there, as we've seen in that exact spot before. And I think a lot of what we're seeing today is just that confidence factor. Like in all sports, when you show up to play somebody and you've had a lot of success against them, as Martin has with Peters, going right back to the Brier final in '97 in Calgary, it's just easier to show up and play. You just feel that it's going to go good. And I think for Vic Peters to overcome that, you just really have to come out with a lot of confidence and a lot of determination, because you got to burst a bubble here.
Weight's good. Hard.
Hard for line.
Hard for line.
Real hard. Real hard, guys.
Hard.
Okay, whoa. Room. Room. Good shot, Denny.
Start, Chris. Hard, Vic. Hard. Okay.
Chris Neufeld doing the job. Now, tomorrow we ask you to spend breakfast or brunch with us, depending on your region, 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. The semifinals of the 2000 GM Goodwrench Skins Championship goes at 7 o'clock in all regions. So $5,000 available in the quarterfinal matchups.
Hard line.
$10,000 in the semifinals, and $35,000 to play for in the championship.
Tons of them.
Good shooting, Perry.
Boy, Carter Rycroft with two great draws in there, just herring by that outturn both times.
Go four top, guys.
So Denny Neufeld, the second for this Peters team, has had his hands full curling against that young upstart Carter Rycroft.
How's the weight?
Yeah, a little quiet. Hard for line. Real hard.
Line perfect.
Hard, guys.
Bump off.
We can get it there.
Okay.
And the Peters team just not giving him that support in the middle of the pack. Denny Neufeld at second, missing a couple. Dave Smith at third, missing a couple. And every end when Peters comes to shoot, he hasn't had it going his way.
You want to hit and roll off it?
No, I'm just telling you.
Well, yeah, we almost have to, don't we? Can't really leave that there. It's like Dave's going to make that. Right?
I just pointed out to you. I don't know.
Yeah, this is like Dave will make that. Let's make this.
Martin say, let's beat him to it, coming off this side one. He knows big Dave Smith can throw the high, hard one, and will come off this one.
Oh, why don't we...
Hit and roll in.
Oh, okay. Well, gonna wait.
I don't know, down normal kind of stuff.
I guess it's the old, we'll throw the heat before they throw the heat. We'll roll in.
Comparison of thirds through 6.
Well, I don't want to throw it too hard. You know what I mean? Like, life's pretty good right now.
You want to hit and flop, or you want to peel it out?
Let's play this.
Okay.
Not a bad shot either. Go to the other side of the rink, throw the in-turn tap. If they make this to a top button, Smith can even roll off that side one on the other side of the sheet. Won't be much good.
Line's good. Yep.
Real heavy.
Lots of weight.
Tricky spot here. Sometimes it takes off early.
Hard. 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 Whoa.
He's by now for the weight.
Quite heavy the way.
Chips in the yellow. Just bumps the other yellow.
About 3 feet heavier than he wanted to be, but they had to sweep and keep the rock with that extra weight just to get it by the guard.
Sorry, a little lighter than he doesn't have that. Okay. Sorry.
Well, Martin was right. Smith is coming off the side one.
Wow.
Bit of a push. Follow through at the end and a lot of weight.
Off the side. Oh, and it puts the brakes on.
practice.
Dodging a 40-pound bullet.
Doesn't quite make it. Now he's made it easier for Waltrip to get the roll. Only board weight required now.
Same shot.
Again?
$500 skin. Seventh end with Kevin Martin leading 1,450
He can make
to
it roll at
550
quiet weight,
for Vic
but-
Peters.
If you want to play the bump, that's fine.
Okay, I'll try and give you a little less here.
Well, I think the bump would always be there, even for Kevin
that right
himself. And
Right there, scratch it.
probably coming off the red one would be a better shot. Take that away from the Peters team.
Well, he had the good line on his first one, just as you said, 3 feet heavy. And he said, I'm going to try to take a little off.
Tight again. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Carter with next to the stone with the brush on the front hip.
Line's real
Don
good.
Bartlett on the back hip.
Hurry.
Through one.
It picked. And when it got by the guard and over curled, it would have been perfect.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Hack, wait. We drive that other one at all of them?
They're sweeping here, but more keeping it clean than anything else.
Yeah. Hey? Well, what
Line
about the
looks
back
good
ring
right
and
there.
slide
It
off it?
takes a big swing, over curls by 6 inches.
Just through the weight?
Yeah.
Like even hack.
Yeah.
Hack weight.
But if we get it moving, it just slides off of it.
Well, now you don't need big weight, but you probably still need pretty tight ice.
Wow. Wow. Ah.
Hurry.
Yep.
Hard.
I'll see if they can hold it now.
Whoa. Real hard. Yeah. Hard. Real hard. Hard. Real hard. Hard. Hard, 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 hard.
Whoa. Just slipped it by, and the red is now shot.
That's a dandy.
As Vic Peters all of a sudden able to slide his rock into.
Well, there it's just about curling sideways. Oh, I would say about a centimeter past the guard or less.
That's when you start using body English to try to work it through. Off the red, and a little cushion there. Some backing now to play with.
See what kind of weight Martin's throwing at this. Board up.
Whoa. Yep. Hard. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. Hard. Hard. Hard.
Can't hit much of it.
Real hard. Hard.
Oh, he did it. He did it.
Back-to-back dandy shots.
Yowza.
Yeah. I think there's nothing in here.
And you mentioned, Rob, that when this guy sees the money, he just seems to be able to turn it up a notch.
Got to hit him thinner than you think.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think he was going to be able to get through with the backing, but boy, he came at it with the right angle.
Thin here.
And Kevin Martin,
Straight back, eh?
the defending champion, isn't about to give the trophy to anybody else.
Well, you'd open it up.
Yeah. Yeah, he just plugs it.
Yeah, but if we don't get shot here, he plays up this side, we can't get it.
I know.
It has to be real thin, and you got to come off this. Then that thing might get to here.
You got to place some weight at it.
Oh, I know, it's got to be big weight.
It comes off of this.
Into here. It's got to go at something there. If you hit this first, it's got to go there.
It's so thin, though. It's just paper thin.
If you don't hit this, it's going that way.
Yeah. If we don't hit this.
Yeah.
Well, you can shoot just by here.
It's still going that way a little bit. You're going to be clipping it like that. It may be okay. You just miss this, but I don't know.
What do you guys like? It's paper thin. Give him try to slice it into cut ours back. The draw is very hard here to get it in there. Yeah, you got hit with an inch. What do you like? Yeah. Okay. I mean, even if you make the draw, you still
draw is your shot.
What?
The draw is your shot.
Guard. You can't get two in there.
Well, you can make it the same shot, I guess. But then you're blasting.
Yeah,
it
that's your own. You've got to almost click into here, you know.
If this was wider, I'd play the shooter through here, but
yeah,
you can't.
Yeah.
On the other sheet, Stoughton stole again, was able to pick $500 up, and now taking a $22.50 advantage over the $250 for Kerry Burtnick. So the steals are paying off for Jeff Stoughton, plus that big $1,000 carryover. He's just $250 away from a berth in the semifinal.
Just, but he's not over those $2,500
left, yeah.
Whoa. Anything can happen.
Hard! 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 Right up! Right up!
That one seems like it's floating back to a pretty good spot, but not quite. Peters doesn't get it on the shot stones. Played a very difficult angle raise.
Which one do you want to block off?
Well, he's got both.
Yeah, I know. This one's... That one might be tougher. Well, he can probably throw... No, he can throw... No, he can throw...
The thing is, if we come this way, no matter what, you know, like...
You want to do this? Yourself?
Let's try to come here. Let's try to go right here. And then if we rack on this, the intern's tough.
Well, then he's got either one, so that's why coming here makes it tougher, though, right?
Like he's already got either one. I think they're pretty equal to me. Like,
unless you want to do this too, and you know, it can't be heavy, you know.
But then, let's go here. Okay. And if the line's not good, we can always leave it here.
Okay. Well, it looks like they're kind of going to try to come through a very small door.
I think this is an easier draw for him, but
unless all of a sudden the draw looks more appealing.
That's why
I'd say this is an excellent choice coming in with that draw, Rob, because if you come in with draw, wait, your rock really finishes at the end. Vic Peters would probably have to play a little bit more than draw weight to move it. And that would be tricky.
Do you think there's any chance that Vic will have problems with the line going through this out-turn hole? Yeah. Well, my weight will be good, though, I think. Okay, let's do this. Let's try to get front button.
Line's good.
Hurt. Line's real good. No, line's good.
Room. Oh. Lots of room.
Line's...
Oh. Lots of room.
Oh. Nope.
No. No. No.
Just a guard. That's fine.
Okay.
Well, that door is kind of shut now.
That's all right. It's no easy draw. Probably make it.
Vic Peters electing the other side of the sheet. In turn draw. All they can get here is the one and the carryover.
What do you guys think it's on the side here? 4?
Line. Fine. I didn't want to be heavy.
The skin's worth $500.
Oh, I like the call too. I like the other call.
The draw weight's pretty consistent across the sheet.
One or the other. They're both not easy, but they're both definitely makeable.
You'll need around 14 seconds to be letter perfect.
Yep.
Hog to hog, that is, timing on the stopwatch.
Yep. No, tight now.
Hard!
But he might even be tight for line.
Real hard! Where's the weight? Hard! Real hard!
They're working on this for line.
14 seconds exactly, but can he get by?
No. Not going to chip in. That is going to be a steal for
very much quicker.
Kevin Martin. He steals $500, taking the skin. Kevin Martin starting to pad his bank account. $19.50 after 7 ends. The 2000 GM Goodwrench skins in Scarborough.
That old mop's a flop. The vacuum's missing spots. That old broom's stirring up.
The new Swiffer. It's so simple to assemble and cleans in new ways nothing has before.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer claws use electrostatic action to attract and trap dust, hair, and common allergens. When you're done, toss the cloth.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done in the household cleaners aisle.
Yes! 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 Yep! Yep! Uh-huh! Hurry! Hurry! Come on, hurry! Whoa! Whoa! Clean! Clean! Hard! Hard! Real hard! Yes!
New Tim Hortons coffee cake. Enjoy a slice and medium coffee for just $2.29.
These two smiling young gentlemen are up next with a full rundown of a busy Saturday in sports. Mike Toth and Jamie Campbell will give you the lowdown on Sports Central following curling. Now, what's at stake here? As you look through the flowers, you see $700 blooming for the person that takes home
good. Lots of weight.
the 8th end. Now, this is pivotal because if the Martin team were to grab that $700, he would earn a berth in the semifinal.
Hurry. Coming down. Okay, hurry then.
With the 1950, he is poised to find a trip to the semifinals. But still, $2,500 left. 700, 800, then 1,000.
Well, so far it's been the Martin team right from lead to skip that's been a little bit steadier than the Peters team.
And the leads, Donnie Bartlett, 75% on the 1 hit and the 13 draws, 85% for his 84 overall, and 79 overall for Don Harvey.
Don Bartlett has been a member of this team since 1991 when they first went to the Briar. He's played in 5 Briars, and all with Kevin Martin.
Gee. Hold on. Okay.
There again, the Peters team not executing, and you can see Vic in the background there, kind of in a displeasure mode, not happy with the way he and his team are playing.
Line's a bit tighter. Okay.
Weight's all the way there.
Okay.
Lots of weight.
Stay close, whoa.
Better let it die down here.
Okay, stay close. Whoa.
Coming down. No, it's...
Weight's good now.
Weight's good.
That's that old line. Come on, honey. This.
No, I know this next line I'm going to say isn't true, but generally as a skip, you play your best when you always figure you can win the game all by yourself if it has to be. You can make your first one and your second one and always get a deuce, even if your team isn't curling well in front of you. And Vic Peters doesn't seem to be in that mental mode right now.
Yep. Well, no, room. Nice shot, Denny.
That's an interesting mindset to have to come into each and every game with. But I guess you have to be supremely confident in your own abilities to try to make it happen.
And really, what you're saying is that, well, yes, you want your team to play well, but you kind of have to have the stout attitude that, well, if they don't, they make misses. Well, you're still there. You're the last guy. You're like a goalie. You can make that last stop. You can save the end. You can get the deuce with your own 2 shots if needed.
Corner freeze on the red.
Oh, then bump this one. What?
Corner freeze.
Numbers for the seconds. Carter Rycroft is at 82%, 84% for Denny Neufeld.
Bit misleading there, though. I really think that Chris has missed the important shot. The last hit, he was late on a very easy out-turn draw. And Neufeld just hasn't made anything real important to set the Peters team up.
Hard.
And that in hand has left us third, Dave Smith, with a lot of tough bailout shots. And it's even been passed on to Vic Peters. Big miss here, though, from Carter.
Didn't give it a chance. Didn't give it a chance.
Over curled, opened it up, and big favor for Vic Peters.
Nose hit. Yep.
Well, a double would be nice here.
Yep. Hard. Well, oh boy.
1-2, he does the job, and there you see the red hanging around.
Tucker. Oh boy. Might as well. Good shooting.
And this is perfectly executed, well thrown.
I can get them all, but
easy brushing all the way.
Doesn't do us any good.
Let's wait and it
2 yellows are gone on the double. And an interesting call here from Kevin Martin. You know, in an ordinary curling game with the regular rules, if opposition's lying through, you'd be there trying to make a double or cut down the end when the opponent has the hammer with you. But all he's playing here is a center guard going totally for the steal.
Right here. Lots of weight.
Oh, and that one picked as well. That's the second rock for Walczyk in this game to pick.
Got to get rid of that rock, guys.
Martin says he doesn't like that rock.
And they looked at it earlier in the game. The two of them, Carter Rycroft and Don Walczyk, looked at it.
During that fifth-in break.
Fifth-in break, took a really hard look at it. And now Kevin Martin saying, we've got to get rid of this rock.
Yeah.
And it isn't that Bartlett isn't keeping it clean. He's got his brush down there, cleaning it nicely. And there it picks, and the handle spins. And all of a sudden, it's over curling by about 3 feet.
Line.
And those are the breaks of the game.
How's weight? A little split, eh? Got a curl. Clean. Got a curl. Well, let her work. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Hard. Good throw.
Vic Peters has the hammer. He's counting 4.
Now, moments ago in the other Western quarterfinal, Kerry Burtnick needs to hit and roll for 2. He's got 1 in. He's counting 1, but he's aiming at this redstone. He drives it out, counts 2, and he's still alive. Picks up $700. He's at $950. And Jeff Stoughton knows that there is still $1,800 available. So by no means out of the way.
Well, that's the beauty of the skins. Until you get over that halfway point in money one, still anybody's game. You get a lot of carryovers. And all of a sudden, you're playing for all the marbles in one end. Walczyk with that foot inverted inward.
He's got to move. He's got lots. He's got to move.
I thought Martin would have tried the
He's got to
triple
move.
here.
It's coming. Let it go. Let it move.
Instead, they're moving the granite around, trying to set up a freeze for their next shot.
That's a good shot. Fine.
Coming here, eh? What?
Yeah, we're 2.
We got to put it here. You hit that. He comes
Looks
off
like
here.
red is
Can't get it.
first and second
What?
shot.
You can tap that up.
You know, but it's going to be awfully good because you're in the button.
But
Can't
close.
just leave him that.
Leave him what?
For that
Well, this
third.
is here.
Oh, well.
You can't hit that and leave him that little plow. Right? Look at his. He rolls. He hits that and rolls.
Double on this one.
He shot. That one there. He makes a double.
Pin double?
No. Half rock. Bang, bang. He shot. Yeah, we can't get out. Right? That's a shot.
If we leave one here, he's coming in like this.
Oh, we gotta go here. Or here.
Leave it anything too long and he freezes to this.
Well, yeah, but
Donnie might be right. Rip it at it.
yeah. Why? This is his next shot. Absolutely.
How about this? Roll this way. If we double this one, that's
okay.
Sit right
I don't
there.
know why do you think you have to get rid of that? What?
Because it's clogging up the center.
Right, it's perfect. To make a roll is perfect, yeah. Or why not just draw it here then? Okay, you guys like that? That's fine. Whatever you like. Whatever you like.
What kind of weight?
Bumper.
Bumper.
Well, everybody had a chance
You
to
play a little more?
express their opinion.
Easy hit.
Looks like Vic Peters was talked out of what he wanted to do.
Well, that hit and roll that he's indicated there would be absolutely the precise shot that you'd like to make, but they don't seem to be confident enough right now to say, yeah, we're going to make that. They're thinking about what could go wrong.
Killed it.
And then what would they leave for Martin for an easy out on this end?
Dave Smith delivering. Eighth end of action.
Yep.
Hard!
Whoa. Whoa.
Hard!
Drives it out, gets the roll.
Well, that's plenty good. Nice shot.
Go, Dave.
Now, was Vic concerned about Kevin's play here? Is this why he wasn't 100%? Because Vic was already thinking of the next move.
This? I guess he'll just run that.
Yeah. That's no good. This is good.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ed. What do you think?
Well, I think that he was a little bit worried about leaving an easy out here for Kevin Martin, but they made a pretty nice shot. They're hitting and rolling over. It's pretty blocked up, and this certainly isn't an easy escape now for Kevin Martin. He's looking at 5 reds. He's trying to bury one of his own in there where...
Yeah, well, no.
How many times did we say that in the year? Hey, he's looking at 5 reds.
And even if he makes it, it looks like Vic Peters will have a pretty easy angle raise on the top one.
Yeah, he might. The trick is to get it to curl enough to get through that hole. Vic's when he threw that draw, remember, a couple ends ago? Stayed awful straight.
And as a skip, you try to recall shots that have happened in the same specific spot.
Line's good.
Line's pretty good.
Line's good. Hard.
Hard! 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 Real hard!
Hard!
Real hard!
Hard.
Okay, whoa, is it lots of weight?
Whoa,
Whoa, whoa.
Ah.
Whoa. 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 Okay.
Slides at 5 for second.
Well, that's a great shot in that situation,
Good
just
shot.
to get second shot.
Good shot.
And you had to worry about getting past, first of all, the long yellow guard, and then that red one in the rings.
If we do that, he may be able to top that. Sit there.
Just a little glue this end, are we?
What do you think, Danny? I mean, we've got to make sure we're... Right, right.
Snap it up.
Yeah. Or just coming down to him. Then he can throw the same shot.
Tap it up.
Hey, you tap it wrong, though. It hits this late too, and no double. How about coming into here? You know, and yeah.
We just can't.
Well, we can't hit that one.
Take that one. Well, what about this one?
Yeah, I think I'd rather do it. Yeah, I'd rather go back into here.
Or peeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lots of stretch.
5 red in there for Vic Peters, only 1 yellow for Martin. And for years at the Vernon Car Spiel, they used to offer in the program free pizza for the team that scored the big end of the day. This could be it.
It's pretty quick here, eh?
A skins game would be unfair for a pizza company.
I think that Vic Peters will be stomping that if he lets this in get away.
Denny. Yep.
Cleared. Cleared. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well,
how much? Whoa.
Yep.
Off.
Yep.
Off.
Yep.
Whoa, what a quick.
Freezes the yellow, tapping the yellow back. And
6 red.
6 now.
All in a very nice configuration.
You don't need 8.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was hoping to keep throwing.
Peters threw this one superbly and just had to keep it clean.
Well, hopefully. If it doesn't finish enough, that's fine. We'll, you know, make him throw the same one again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing else, is there?
Not really.
Well, see if we can come off that 3.
Yeah.
Through 7, the 2 skips match up like this. Kevin Martin at 87% and Vic Peters 65%.
And all of that has been lately. Peters had a good start to the game, played well early, but then as of late he's had the tough angle raises, the tough draws coming in from the side.
Just try to kiss off that red.
And finally here they've played a super end. And they have the Martin force them in all kinds of trouble.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, off, right off.
Kevin just trying to bail this end out.
Right off.
Oh, stay close.
Good thing for him, he just played this on his first stone, so he knows the line. He has more weight.
Whoa. Back line.
Right off.
Curl. No.
No. Okay.
And he's going to make Vic throw his final stone.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how big this end looks like on paper, it still saves Vic Peters from having to.
Well, not really. Then we can just get
look
one.
at just trying to collect as much cash as possible. It
We
keeps
got
him
one.
in
We're
the
sitting
hunt.
one.
$700 skin.
That was just to the back, eh?
He just threw it. Exact line, exact weight. That hole doesn't look
gotta
that big
move him
from
a
here,
little
though. Although the rocks are staggered the right way so that he's curling through it.
So $700 on this rock. Certainly help out Vic Peters.
Yep.
His Winnipeg foursome.
Yep.
Well, that looks tight.
Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Real hard. Hard, 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 hard. Clean.
Clean.
Whoa, off. Clean.
Gets by.
Clean.
Is it for 6 or 7?
By another one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like. Doesn't matter. It's only worth $700. Doesn't matter how big you win, as long as you take the skin. Peters at a little cash there, $12.50. We'll continue.
This old mop makes me shake. That old vacuum makes me ache. This old rag drags me down.
This box rocks. The radical new Swiffer Sweeper. So simple to assemble.
And it's built to last.
Swiffer, now I'm sliding, sweeping and a gliding. Here comes Swiffer, Sweeper.
Swiffer cloths use electrostatic action to attract and trap hair, crumbs, and common allergens. When you're done, just toss the cloth.
Here comes Swiffer, Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done in the household cleaners aisle.
My hat's pink, my curling shoes are pink, and my phone is pink. My favorite color's pink. My name is Shorty Jenkins, and I make ice. Dave, you want to take the hand scream and start? First thing do I ask somebody where the closest Tim Hortons is.
When he's in town, he's in here every morning. Early.
Well, I flood the ice, and then I go into Tim Hortons. And then I come back, flood the ice, and then I go back to Tim Hortons. That's the large double-double, please. I go back and forth all day long. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Shorty's ice is by far the best ice in Canada, probably in the world.
Really? The cha-cha?
Yes. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
And I also like to dance. She's danced everybody else but me, and I'm very upset. This is where I'm most comfortable, right here, drinking my hot coffee. It really instantly warms up my hands. If there's a Tim Hortons in town, I'll guarantee you you're going to have good ice.
At the Array, we know Canadian communities. Our 3,000 employees live and work all across Canada. Are proud to provide quality service to some 450 of these communities every day, every week, all year long.
A look outside the clubhouse of the Scarboro Golf and Country Club. The scene of the GM Goodwrench Skins 2000 quarterfinal action. And Vic Peters of Winnipeg stayed in the $700 skin as you look inside. Western quarterfinal play. Earlier today, Wayne Madaw and Mike Harris advanced into the Eastern semifinal. And now we've got battle going on who will match up in the Western semi.
And here we are after all those ends of feeling sorry for Vic Peters. He's right back in the game.
Still $1,800 left to play for.
How's Wade, guys?
This is an $800 skin in the ninth.
Peters needs it all now. He needs the 9th end and 10th end.
A lot of room.
Although if there's a carryover, then all he's got to do is win the 10th.
Oh yeah, that's all. And the shootout. You are a half-full type of guy, aren't you?
And Kevin Martin's thinking here is that he'd like to see 2 counts, one on the 9th and one on the 10th. That gives him 2 chances at winning the money and pushing him over the top.
Let's go here.
And it was Kevin Martin in McCain's skin game that actually on the 9th end threw away $5,000 at one point just to get the hammer in the 10th end. And he went on to win that.
Now.
So I think when you look at Kevin Martin here in the skins game, here's a guy who's given it a lot of thought over the years.
Gotta go. But Kevin's had a great explanation. I didn't need that money. I needed the 10th end.
Okay. We're short. Okay, hurry. Hard, hard, hard. It's got to be here. Just tight. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. Hard. Hard, 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 hard. Good shot.
And I can just sense on the Vic Peters team now that they realize now this isn't over. They got that money on the 8th end. So they're bustling around now and really feeling good about themselves, knowing they're right back in it.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Whoa. Well, no. Okay. Good try.
A little interest, too, as well in the other quarterfinal. Kerry Burtnick and Jeff Stoughton. Final stone of the 9th end, $800 on the line. So for Jeff Stoughton to clinch a berth in the semifinal, he has to count 2. One means it's a carryover, or steal means Kerry Burtnick goes to $2,000 and evens up the score very quickly.
Didn't cut quite enough, and it looks like, yes, Burtnick has stole the 9th end as well. And whoa, with the skins game, it's never over till it's over. Burtnick right back in it.
doesn't this make it interesting?
So they'll go to the 10th end, and that'll be the deciding end to see who wins that skins game and moves on to the semi.
So you add $800, and look at the total now.
Well, Burton are coming out of nowhere to get right back into the game.
So $1,750 for Kerry Burtnick, $2,250 for Jeff Stoughton, $1,000 to decide it all
Have a look.
in the 10th.
Right here.
Guess you couldn't ask for anything better. So a steal by Burtnick, and there's another steal playing an important role.
Hard. Keep it going.
I think it's really a matter of the big mo, like you get that momentum going, and Burtnick seems to have that right now.
He's picked up $1,500 in the last two ends. It looked like it was going to be a Stoughton runaway. Jeff and his team led $2,250 to $250.
Yeah, it looked like no contest.
What?
But all of a sudden,
8, 9, and 10 add up to $2,500. I think that would renew the enthusiasm of any curler.
Got a piece.
just enough to wick that one and move those two reds over, change everything around.
Martin with the hammer and $800 the skin.
Boom, tap it. It's dangerous. You put that guard in.
What do you like?
Be nice to move it, but it's kind of dangerous.
Tap this. Play here. I like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the call. The outturn freeze. Freeze half on that.
Same track.
Move it later.
Room.
Well, it's
Room.
heavy. Well, room. Looks heavy.
Room.
Where's it?
Close.
Yep.
Line's good.
Yep. Hard, let's bump it. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, bump it open. Yep. Hard.
Well, that does the job. He moves that yellow one a bit into the open and rolls over the corner of the 4-foot. And this ice has really held up well. We haven't seen much of the flatness or the fudging in that sliding path.
This might be better. Let's do that. Hit and roll here.
Kind of weight. Down normal?
Down normal.
Walczyk appearing to be going for the double here on the outturn. Although Kevin Martin said we roll inside, that's pretty good too. Don Walczyk joined this team in 1996. And it looks like that one has really picked on him as well. He's had terrible luck with that stone.
That one picked again, and
no,
I'm sure
picked again. Something's going on with his.
Could be the stone. You know, he's seen this before.
And as the ice starts to soften and flatten out a little bit as it gets played a lot, the pebble starts to wear down, and a bad stone like that might make a stronger appearance in the game.
Now, in a case like that, can they change a stone, or can they just exchange it with somebody else on the team and maybe give it to the lead?
Good line.
Yeah, they could do that.
That's the only way. They can't remove it from play.
No, you can't go and remove it from play and take a stone from another sheet once the game has started.
So all of a sudden, Donnie Bartlett goes, why me?
Oh, hard. Keep it clean.
Well,
clean.
Good throw.
Well, the other thing you can do is you can save that stone and try and save it for, say, a real hard hit. You know, and that tends not to pick as much.
I better run it back. Going here.
Easier to hide with the lead when you give it away?
Well, then there is one old other trick that can be used, and it's a bit of a dirty trick, is what you can do is rather than throwing a yellow one, you can throw a red one when the opposition is down, you know, they're halfway down. You throw their stone. and then you say, oh my goodness, I'm colorblind. You know, they all go, well,
I thought this was something in the rule book I've never even seen
well,
before.
they all go, you dummy, you threw the wrong color. And you go, oh, how could I do that? So then what you do is you kick your rock, it's no good, down the ice, and then
you burn one.
Yeah.
I see.
A lot of room, a ton of room.
And the teams did have a choice of the rocks before the game started, so I guess this one kind of reared its ugly head, or its ugly running surface.
Be better not doing to bump it a little bit. Be nice too, but being there is the first thing.
Yeah. Nice weight by Walchuk, about half buried. Interesting setup here for Peters. He could play to tap that, or just weld absolutely a straight freeze right onto it.
Good. I like to tap it.
Then you can't get it out. A freeze would be shot stone, would own the button and the pin.
I got to play almost.
And if Martin was to try and move it, the only thing he would be probably getting rid of is his own yellow.
Yeah. He's behind the tee line, right? Let's just draw. Just freeze, Dave.
Oh, look at the intensity. There's curling of the future there. Steaming up the glass. That's how intense this game is.
Baby steamer. Vic's realized that. Now he's just going for the straight freeze.
Yep. Yep. Line's good. Get it here.
It looks light, though.
Hard for late. Real hard. Come on.
And that would be the cardinal sin to be light on this one. Victor.
Hard.
Oh.
Well, all of a sudden, now the tap looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. Try and get to here. Or run it back. And if you
run it back perfect.
Take that in there. Which way are we going to run it, though? We want to be more on the outside, right? Because so then if we miss it that way, at least we take our own out, right? People are wondering why we
Big double peel. Center guard. Double peel.
First of 3 one-minute timeouts for Kevin Martin.
Makes a good one. Try to make that thing right through the center here. That a hole. Tough.
Time's in.
Why don't we run that one stone into here? Try to make this. And if we do rattle a whole bunch, great.
He's worried about the fact that all the guards are red, belonging to
Just
Peters.
off the nose. Where here?
Peters just has to keep Martin to 1 to force a carryover.
I don't know. I think Kevin might have been just as well here to play the in-turn draw, try to get in there for second shot. Say to Vic Peters, okay, make one of these races if you can. They're all long races.
And both with 7 minutes left. It's not including the timeouts.
Whoa!
Hard.
And whoa! Is that bonus?
Well, he took his own shot rock out, but he moved a lot of red around as well.
And the red is shot again. But it leaves Kevin Martin with a little more open space to look at. 1, 2. Another red, you throw that in, out goes your own, but wide open spaces.
I think it's pretty evident now that Kevin Martin was simply worried about only counting the 1 and not having the hammer in the 10th in, as we had talked about at the start of the end. So he figured, let's peel. We happen to get 2 fine.
Not wide open, and we'll play it that way.
They'll leave it easy for him to take 1.
Well, he's not take 1.
Oh,
it's hammer. This way here. Any picture goes there. He makes a double.
He's going to try and make a triple.
Right? I mean,
that's a triple too, eh? He's going to throw it. He's not going to take one.
Just guard that side of the rock. Right, then he can make it. Then it's not there. Anywhere on this side.
Yeah, but...
right?
Okay.
And what Vic Peters is saying, if he makes pretty good guard here, Kevin Martin is probably just going to throw his rock to the boards and say, well, here, you have the skin. I don't want a 1 point and lose the hammer going into 10.
Right? Yeah, but if he makes it, game's over. Like, I'm just thinking throw guard.
Clean. 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 Don't let it curl.
Well,
and all he's doing is guarding the outside of his shot stone, leaving it exposed, saying to Martin, I'm not going to give you a double for 2 so you can end the game here by winning a skin.
No, and they just kicked it out, saying, all right.
Kevin Martin, wild and wonderful thing, says, hey, you have the skin. I'm taking the hammer into 10.
He is giving up the skin of $800 in the 9th, opening it up for $1,000. So $2,050 for Peters. It's all coming down to the 10th, the West quarterfinal.
My hat's pink, my curtain shoes are pink, and my phone is pink. My favorite color's pink. My name is Shorty Jenkins, and I make ice. Dave, you want to take the hand cream and start? First thing do I ask somebody where the closest Tim Hortons is.
When he's in town, he's in here every morning, early.
Well, I flood the ice, and then I go into Tim Hortons. And then I come back, flood the ice, and then I go back to Tim Hortons. That's the large double-double, please. I go back and forth all day long. It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Shorty's ice is by far the best ice in Canada, probably in the world.
Really? The cha-cha?
Yes. Foxtrot.
Foxtrot.
And I also like to dance. She's danced everybody else but me, and I'm very upset. This is where I'm most comfortable, right here, drinking my hot coffee. Yes, it really instantly warms up my hands. If there's a Tim Hortons in town, I'll guarantee you you're going to have good ice.
That old mop's a flop. The vacuum's missing spots. That old broom's stirring up.
The new Swiffer. It's so simple to assemble and cleans in new ways nothing has before.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer claws use electrostatic action to attract and trap dust, hair, and common allergens. When you're done, toss the cloth.
Swiffer now, sliding, sweeping, and gliding. Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done in the household cleaners aisle.
How the years, they fly by, fleeting glimpses, moments in our lives. Gotta hold on to them, catch them while you can. These are the moments, these are the moments. ABC holds the moments of our lives.
CTV Sportsnet is proud to present the 2000 GM Goodwrench skins. Brought to you by GM Goodwrench Service. We love cars. Swiffer. When Swiffer's the one, consider it done. And by Tim Hortons, the coffee you can count on.
Conceding the steal in the 9th end gave $800 to Vic Peters. Now, don't consider that an $800 gamble. Look at it, as Kevin Martin would say, it was an $800 investment, knowing that there's $1,000 on the line, and he holds on to the hammer in the 10th end.
Good spot.
Right, he's thinking, I want the hammer, I got to get 2 to win that skin. My best chances with the hammer in 10 to get that skin. And he's more concerned with the big picture, winning here, moving to the semifinal, and on to the final where the bigger money is down the line.
Now, an $1,800 carryover would have looked very nice on the scoreboard, but Kevin Martin would have had to surrender the hammer, and he'd much rather have the opportunity to win it outright.
Room. Lots of weight.
On Bartlett.
Room.
Good.
Well, Peters played his first rock into the rings. And Good thing for that free guard zone and that 3-rock rule. Kevin Martin utilized it. Played a corner guard to get that offense started.
Good shot.
As Kerr from Saskatchewan should have done in that Canadian women's senior final against Agnes Charette. Use that free guard zone.
Two Reds now split as you take a look at the
Halfway
house here
there.
in one of the quarterfinals for the Western teams involved. 8 teams came to Scarborough, Ontario. What a great format this is, with the 4 top teams from the West, 4 great teams from the East battling, and then
maybe longer.
look out East and West in the final.
And we're lucky in Canada that we can do this. We've got so many teams here that have, won the Brier and gone on to win Worlds. Very, very top-notch teams.
Well, how's this for a telling commentary on the state of curling? As Mike Harris said, you know, it's easier to win the Brier in this country than it is to win the World Curling Final, because in the Brier, he says, you know, there's 4 or 5 top provinces. Well, in the World Curling Tour Final, there are going to be 24 top teams there to beat your brains out. So it's easier to get to the Brier and maybe even win the Brier than it is the World Curling Tour Final.
Well, things are really changing. If you go back to the old days of curling, the big prize every year is, well, maybe you won a Bonspiel along the way, but it was always the Brier. But now there's quite a bit for these players to play for, and big stuff on the line. Martin with the hammer. He needs a deuce. Peters needs to steal.
Knocks out the red, and will the yellow roll out of play? Well, it won't be in the rings, but it won't be out of play. Let's go to the other Western quarterfinal. Jeff Stoughton with the hammer in the 10th. $1,000 on the line, and the victory. Stoughton needs 2, but it doesn't look like the rocks are set for him. He just might need 1 just to force the shootout.
That's what he's doing. He's drawing in for a single. That would create a carryover and send Burtnick and Stoughton to the shootout, which would be a draw to the pin.
And look at this. That's a practice shot then for Jeff Stoughton as he puts it right on the button. So it is a carryover for $1,000. It's a shootout to find out who's going to the West semifinal. Stoughton and Burtnick.
Smart play there by Stoughton. Practice his draw way to the button. He's going to have to try it again right away. So they have a carryover. That $1,000 there, which would determine the team that moves on to the semifinal, will go to a shootout, which is a draw to the pin, 1 rock for each skip.
And that will decide one of the West semifinalists. And those with the hammer go first in the shootout, and Jeff Stoughton has already had a practice round.
Yeah, Stoughton had the hammer in that 10th in, so he goes first in the shootout.
I think he'll be looking for the same ice and the same weight. We'll watch that for you as we now concentrate on Kevin Martin and Vic Peters.
Doesn't help
Peters
us much.
ahead by $100.
Bump it back.
Martin with the hammer in the 10th. And now back to Stoughton and Burtnick, and this is Jeff Stoughton's draw to the button.
Kenny Xerox that shot that he just threw. Needs the same weight out of his hand.
Pat Reed will be in charge. She's got the measuring stick there and ready to go. Doug Armstrong, Gary Vandenberg start to work on it. Jonathan Meade keeping close watch on it. Look at this one roll. Does it have too much? Need some brakes. Oh! It bites the back of the button. Pat Reed will come out to measure just so she's got a frame of reference. And we'll give you Kerry Burtnick's draw in just a moment as we go back to Martin and Peters.
Yep.
Dave Smith and his rock in the 10th.
Hard. Oh, it's heavy. Whoa, off. Oh. It's heavy.
Carter Rychoff made a fine shot to
slides by the red on the center line.
Stop.
To move the red and rolling behind that corner. That one's deep. The door is open for Martin to play a draw, top 4. And with some guards out in front, he can get in behind cover.
That ain't the place for it. That ain't the place for it, no.
Kevin Martin saying to Vic Peters, that's not the place for that draw way back 8. That's not going to do you any good.
It doesn't matter.
And it sure won't, because if Martin draws one there, Peters makes a play on it, he may even drive it on his own and jam it.
Walchuk.
Lots of room. Line's good. Lots of room. Up. Line's good. Up. 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 Oh. Oh. Up. Oh. Oh.
As this comes through, it's going to be into the 4-foot. Now to Kerry Burtnick, just delivering here. Back of the button was where Jeff Stoughton put his. This is for $1,000 and a berth in the semifinal.
We had one shootout already today. That one between Harris and Hemming. Burtnick playing the same turn. F. Stoughton on the end. He looks light.
Well, they're working on it big time, Fenton and Meekin. It's not going to do it. It will be Jeff Stoughton who goes on. He picks up $1,000. He goes to 32.50, earns a ride into the Western semifinal. 32.50 for Stoughton, 17.50 for Burtnick. And they will play the winner of this match, Kevin Martin and Vic Peters.
Tighter than the last one. Hard for line.
Hard for line. Kerry Burtnick had that winning shot in his hand. If he could have had the correct weight, he made a tremendous comeback on the 8th and 9th end there, but failed to make the draw.
Okay.
Dave Smith crashing big time on the guard here as his out turnover curls. Temporarily, Kevin Martin now in control of this end.
Okay, get out of the way.
Both teams tight for time, but they have timeouts remaining.
Tap that in.
Walchuk playing the in-turn tap.
Now, if they do run out of time, just so you know, this will not affect how it turns out. That whoever wins it wins the match. What they'll do is there'll be a little fine assessed by Paul Savage afterwards, and that will go to charity.
Room. Oh. Wow. Hurry. Oh.
Bartlett doing an excellent job of calling the weight.
Yeah, I see that.
Good shot.
2 yellow in the 4-foot.
Too much weight. Same weight I think that last time.
Could have been better. He was a little bit overweight and split those yellows. He would have liked to raise it just right next to his own.
Yeah, but how do I get the hole in? I don't know what kind of ice to give. Like here?
We could also just hit this one on the nose.
Peters might be wise to take a timeout here.
Coming up after curling, Jamie Campbell and Mike Toth. They'll give you the complete rundown. Sports Central. Up next on The Next.
That was what? About just 2 rings weight. That's the only ice that I know there. If I take tighter ice, very close. Like if I can just get tight to that red guard, will be shot.
Dick Peters afraid to be coming with the in-turn through this hole. Hack weight.
Hack weight.
Get rid of that lovely line of mine and watch this shot come down the ice.
Hey! 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 Whoa! Whoa!
Sweeping really held that line.
Slides through. Nice job by Vic Peters. Kevin Martin is still shot. Boy, that ever squeaked by.
Well, that's a good shot by Peters.
And time called by the Kevin Martin team.
Just squeaking through that hole, and Sweeping brought it back. It looked like it was going to curl early. Martin only counting 1.
Even if we just bump it back a little. He's got a tough double.
But like you say, you got some more weight to get the roll, but how in the hell do you know the ice?
Well, you're pretty much got to take.
You can't get out, right?
You can't make it out, right? Like we can curl as much as possible, right? Or you want to do it that way? Okay.
That's what I knew we had to get on.
It's going to be curling though, right? It's going to be curling, right? So I'm thinking playing as tight as possible.
Martin and Walchuk really seem to have a similar mindset in a lot of the shots. They work well together.
It's got to come in here. If we lock it here, he can't hit it. If we bump it a little, well, it's tough to get that. It won't curl much. But let's get through the hole and freeze it in here. Freeze. If it's right on the nose, we got to bump it a little. Okay?
It's on the nose, you want to bump it a little, okay.
Otherwise, of course, he just noses it and we got no shot, right?
Kevin Martin. I think Martin's in a good position, as you said, Ed. You know, he's got the hammer, he can win it outright. If not, though, and he can just still get one in there, then they go to the shootout. So he hasn't completely given it away.
Yeah, he's playing the draw in here on the in turn, and where he would like to position his rock is freeze it right on that inside angle. So if Peters was to hit it, it would come off this yellow and go right onto that red. Then Martin could draw for two and the win. I expect him to be close on this.
Lots of room. Lots of room.
Oh.
Lots of room.
Oh.
Donnie
pretty good.
Just keeping
Lots
it
of room
nicely
still.
clean.
Off you can.
Lots of room.
And Don has just developed into
gotta
a
go,
tremendous
gotta
judge
move.
of draw weight.
It's got to move.
Come on.
Hard now. Hard. Hard.
Hard.
Hard.
Starting to fudge up a bit as it comes in.
Through the port, and he freezes to it. That's what he wanted.
Not bad.
He wanted to be a bit more on it, about 2/3 throws into it.
It's got the same shot I just threw, though.
Started to fudge and curled hard as it came into the rings, and they were yelling lots of room all the way, but not at the end.
Running through the brackets now with Jeff Stoughton advancing with a victory over Kerry Burtnick. That's how the semifinals are starting to shape up. The East semi, Mike Harris against Wayne Middaugh. And the winner of the Martin Peters game will face Jeff Stoughton in the West semifinal.
Well, that Harris Middaugh, that's a dandy. And they played a few weeks ago in the Briar playdowns in their zone. Harris coming out on top.
Draw and touch this, eh?
Yeah.
You just got to draw and touch this.
Same shot. Feel the shot rock him. He's got the shot I threw here then. Do you want to give him that? We got second, Dave, eh?
Oh, yeah, we're going to have second over here.
Okay, let's peel it out. Well, that's right.
Make sure you don't jam here, eh?
Might jam, yeah. Yeah. And then I hit the other one out. If I hit it real thin, I could take all mine out. You don't think so? No.
Vic Peters playing this stone here, the shot stone. Just wants to clip it out there and roll away with his shooter.
A little more, Dave.
What that would leave is this red one for shot stone. Even if Martin came and hit it, he wouldn't get two because this red one here would be second shot.
Vic Peters, his final stone, 10th end.
Really running straight for him.
Oh, he chips his own out.
He loses.
He gives up two to Kevin Martin. It pays off for Martin to hold on to the hammer. An error by Peters. $1,000 for Martin. He goes to $29.50. The victory and the berth in the Western semifinal. Whoops, there it is for Kevin Martin, as Vic Peters can't seem to shake the Skins bugaboo. Martin advances with $29.50. So for Kevin Martin, he will face Jeff Stoughton in the West semifinal. The semifinals go like this: 11:30 Eastern, 8:30 Pacific. Please have breakfast with us on the net. Mike Harris against Wayne Middaugh. Kevin Martin against Jeff Stoughton. $75,000 the total purse. It will be interesting tomorrow. For Ed Lukowich and the entire CTV Sportsnet crew, I hope you'll join us tomorrow. I'm Rob Foltz. Take care, everybody.